found on the USDA's website. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a Texas mother has been arrested for the death of her two toddlers, whom she said were left in a hot car to teach the older child a lesson while the woman smoked and took a nap. Danny Huffman, a spokeswoman for the Parker County Sheriff's Office, said via email that Cynthia Randolph was being held over the weekend on $200,000 bail for the deaths of her 16-month-old and 2-year-old daughter last month. Randolph had originally told investigators that she had been folding laundry and watching television in her rural home west of Fort Worth while the boy, Cavanaugh Ramirez, and his sister, Juliet Ramirez, played in the back porch, according to a criminal complaint. After noticing the children were missing, Randolph told officers she found them unresponsive in a locked car and broke a window to rescue them. The temperature was close to 96 degrees Fahrenheit, and emergency personnel that Randolph had called pronounced the children dead at the scene. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and Numery supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
For over 12 years, Halverson Enterprises CEO Peter Weathers has taken a hands-on approach in all aspects of the tech firm's growth and day-to-day business. But employees say the executive's true talent lies in his unique ability to recognize great ideas and then absolutely ruin them.
For as long as I've worked here, Peter has been able to sit down in a meeting, listen to a million different ideas, pick out the one that makes the most sense creatively and financially, and then totally destroy it until there's basically nothing worthwhile about it left. He's remarkable.
Employees throughout the company say they're most impressed by Weathers' ability to water down promising ideas with meaningless jargon, consistently choose the wrong person to head up every project, and inject virtually every halfway decent thought with his own short-sighted and terrible insights.
At our all-hands meeting the other week, our team put forth a very feasible plan to boost productivity, and it was really incredible to see Peter's mind at work, just taking every good aspect of our proposal and dismantling it like a small child.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial on in toll-free here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can also Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. With you in the studio tonight, it's me, Ian.
Melanie.
And Mark. Lots of stuff to talk about, including another update on the Philando Castile case. We'll hold that one off here for a little bit because we've been all Philando all the time for the last two shows. It's a pretty outrageous case, and it's not quite... there's a little more to be said about it, Mark, and you're going to share some of that with us here coming up.
I think it's an enlightening case in many cases, too.
Not for the victim's family, but they're the ones
The victim's family got $3 million today.
Really?
They feel a little enlightened.
From who?
Well, did they, or is the appeal over? Because that's really when you get the money, not when the trial.
It's my understanding they settled a civil case.
Oh, that's interesting because I didn't know they'd even filed a civil case yet.
Well, there you go.
Okay, because this story here from June 21st at NPR says that they're planning to file a federal civil lawsuit.
Heard it on the news this morning. I don't know what to tell you.
Amazing. That's really fast settlement from the city in that case. So yeah, we can talk more about that. And also on the way here, we're going to talk about the TSA searching through your bags if we get the chance, and obedience training on how to deal with the police. Melanie's going to tell us about that happening in New Jersey public schools. But Mark, you had a court case of interest, or I guess a case that actually didn't move forward. The Supreme Court turned down hearing a case that had to do with California gun control restrictions. Is that right?
Yeah, I've got it right here from the New York Times. The old gray lady, Supreme Court turns down a case on carrying guns in public.
And when they do that, that means the lower court decision stands.
Yes, I got this actually from a Democrat jumping up and down, very happy today on Facebook.
All right.
Wee! There's some place that people can't carry guns. Yippee! Some place that's far more violent than the state that I live in.
Now, wait a minute. Isn't this the Supreme Court with the judge that Donald Trump appointed with this, hullabaloo about how Trump's going to change the face of the Supreme Court? I mean, it sounds to me like they're ruling in favor of gun control.
I'm not sure if if Gorsuch was able to make a vote in this.
Well, are they even full yet? Did he?
I'm not sure.
I don't think they are, but I haven't really been following that.
Okay.
But, so much for a sea change, the supposed change under the Supreme Court.
Yeah, Donald Trump didn't make a difference immediately for me. I hate him. What kind of noise are you making over there? You don't even make any sense.
I'm referring to the fact that Donald, these people who are the Trump supporters seem to think that Donald Trump was somehow going to bring some sort of significant change to Washington,
But you don't
DC.
know if Gorsuch has yet been,
I don't care.
Put on the Supreme Court, and you don't know if he had an opportunity to vote on this.
Expecting Trump to do magic is a little bit unreasonable.
Yeah.
Expecting him to not do a lot of the things that he's done is entirely reasonable. But if his appointee hasn't actually been seated yet, there's nothing he can do to change the rulings of the Supreme Court.
Right. Trump sucks as a president. Your statement makes no sense. These two statements really don't intersect. Going on, Washington, the Supreme Court on Monday declined to hear a Second Amendment challenge to a California law that places strict limits on carrying guns in public. As is their custom, the justices gave no reason for deciding not to hear the case.
Which means they don't have to vote on it either, right? It's just a decision.
It's a decision, but I don't know how it's come to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the justices decide whether they're going to hear a case or not. I would presume that's a vote too. I don't know.
They vote. What their reasons are, unless they publish them, we don't know, and they're not allowed to talk about. Even on cases they do publish, they're not allowed to talk about their conversations about it. But it's a vote as to whether or not to take the case. So if it's 4-4, if there is a vacancy and it's 4-4, the case doesn't get heard.
Interesting.
Okay. And there was a vacancy until recently. The court has turned away numerous Second Amendment cases in the recent years to the frustration of gun rights groups and some conservative justices. Justice Clarence Thomas, joined by Justice Neil Gorsuch, dissented. There you go, Ian. It's not Donald Trump's fault.
Okay.
The court refused to hear the case. Justice Thomas wrote, reflects a distressing trend.
I wasn't saying it was Donald Trump's fault, by the way. I was just pointing out that there's this big deal about Donald Trump going in there as though he's going to change everything up, and looks like the Supreme Court's still ruling in favor of gun control.
To be fair to him, he never promised, I'm going to get into office and do black magic.
Right.
He promised that he would do certain things.
What's he supposed to do? Walk in with a garrote and strangle the other 8 justices? I mean, I don't even know what you're talking about, Ian. Yes, elections have consequences, but those elections do not sweep away everything that's been done prior to that in this particular constitutional republic.
Apparently, his guy was seated back in April.
There you go. So
right, but he dissented, right?
His guy dissented.
Yeah, so he dissented. Right. So
it was an 7-2.
Right. But it wasn't even close. It wasn't even a close
right,
vote.
But you can only appoint people when somebody dies. Yeah. I mean, there's you're being kind of ridiculous.
This is dumb. Going on, the court's refusal to hear the case, Justice Thomas wrote, reflects a distressing trend. The treatment of the Second Amendment is a disfavored right. For those of, and that's exactly right. It is showing up as a disfavored right. In this circumstance, basically California has decided, no, you cannot open carry a firearm. And let's not forget, the Constitution still says the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That, to me, sounds like an infringement. Further, they have also made it very difficult to get a concealed carry permit. That also sounds like an infringement.
Well, if you do manage to get one, it's only valid in your county.
In California.
In California.
Yeah. For those of us who work in marbled halls guarded constantly by a vigilant and dedicated police force, Thomas wrote, that guarantees the Second Amendment might seem antiquated and superfluous, but the framers made a clear choice. They reserved it to all Americans, the right to keep and bear arms for self-defense. I do not think that we should stand by idly while a state denies its citizens that right, particularly when Their very lives may depend on it. The court has seldom addressed the scope of a Second Amendment rights. In 2008, the District of Columbia v. Heller. The Heller case, and Supreme Court ruled that the Second Amendment protects an individual to keep guns at home for self-defense, which is a pretty narrow ruling, but certainly something. Since then, the court has said little else about what other laws may violate the Second Amendment. In the lower courts, very few challenges to gun control laws since the Heller decision have succeeded. But legal experts say that it is only a matter of time before the court confronts the question of whether and how the Second Amendment applies outside the home. The case of Peruta v. California concerned a state law that essentially bans carrying of guns openly in public and allows carrying concealed weapons only if applicants can demonstrate good cause. So the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed unless you can show you can't show good cause. The challengers, several individuals and gun rights groups, sued San Diego and Yolo counties, saying that, if I mispronounced that, please forgive me, that officials were there interpreted good cause so narrowly as to make it impossible to carry guns in public for self-defense. San Diego, for instance, defined good cause to require proof that the applicant was in harm's way, adding that simply fearing for one's personal safety alone was not considered good cause. In a 7-4 ruling, the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit, also known as the Ninth Circus, in San Francisco, said there was no Second Amendment right to carry a concealed weapon. So the right to keep and bear arms concealed can be infringed, according to the Ninth Circuit Court.
And that's what the Supreme Court basically upheld by not hearing the case.
And I'm pretty sure that open carry is illegal in California, period.
That's what Mark said,
Yeah, as I understand, you can at one point you could open carry long guns, but not handguns. But then again, this is not legal advice. I really don't know.
Right, but saying that you can infringe the right to carry concealed if you're not allowed to carry openly ever, it's like, well, so
you have no right.
There's nothing left.
Right. I just don't really understand how these people get their jobs when they can't read. I just don't
it's
get
about
it.
The interpretation.
How do you interpret shall not be infringed as anything but shall not be infringed?
Well, because their job is not to enforce the Constitution. Their job is to classify the Federal Reserve.
The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals' job isn't to protect the Constitution?
That might be what they run around saying their job is, but they're not hired on that basis. They're not retained on that basis. That's not what they're paid for.
They're hired on the basis of, are they going to protect the state? Are they going to uphold the laws of the state as valid more often than not? More coming up here in moments. It's Free Talk Live. You can join us.
Ew, get the stinky dog away from me. Bad breath and bad gas. Petey stopped eating. All his hair fell out.
Itching, licking, missing fur.
At least $5,000 in vet bill. Creams, antibiotics, sprays.
No results.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite. DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids. Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa. The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The shedding is stopped and the itching is stopped.
Her coat is now soft, it's silky, it's healthy and shiny and glossy.
She's got life. She's got energy.
Tons of energy, no more bad smells.
Dinovite's the bomb.
Dinovite is the best thing that's ever happened to my dogs, besides me, of course.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
Dinovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, customers, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-765-9681 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-765-9681. Again, that's 800-765-9681.
Anyone can publish on the internet, but not everyone is publishing material suited for online reading. According to the Yahoo Style Guide, it cautions that internet content has a few seconds, 3 or less, to encourage people to read more, to take action, or navigate to another one of your pages. So make it easy for readers to pick and choose. Isn't that the way you poke around online? Use short words, short sentences, short paragraphs, bulleted lists, and short pages. Front load what you write, putting the most important information at the beginning of headlines and paragraphs and sentences. Same goes for your keywords, what someone would likely type into the search box on Yahoo or Google. For more tips on communicating better online or in a job interview or everyday life, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial on in toll-free here. Bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got Skype, and you can Skype in here at username LRN.FM. Tonight with you, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Mark.
Also, I do want to let you know about Bitcoin.com. You go to Bitcoin.com and you can get some great information from their news site, the latest on what's happening in the Bitcoin universe. But if you're brand new to Bitcoin, Bitcoin.com is an excellent place to go because you can get the basics on what Bitcoin is. What is this amazing decentralized cryptocurrency? If you don't know anything about it, there's no better place to start than Bitcoin.com. If you're old school, you've been around for a long time, you'll get the latest news. You can play games with your Bitcoin. You can learn even more about it. You can connect with others on the Bitcoin.com forum. Just go to Bitcoin.com to get started there. As we're talking about a Supreme Court decision to not decide, in this case, this decision to not decide means that they've decided in favor of the lower court, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, that has basically upheld the California restrictions on carrying guns. And there's quite a few restrictions on carrying guns. Mark, you'd gone over some of it briefly just a moment ago. You cannot open carry, you said.
That's right.
You also...
A handgun.
Can you open carry a long gun, or did they close that loophole?
I don't know.
So again, we're not attorneys. This is not legal advice. If you actually want to know what the law is in California, you probably should do some research because I'm sure it's much more, nuanced than what we're giving you over here. But it is very, very restricted place. So we knew a guy who had a gun, but he was only able to keep it at home in California. Like you couldn't take it out somewhere. And they said they would grant permits based on, what was it, necessity? What was the legal term that...
Basically, if you were in harm's way.
Okay.
like right now.
So maybe you could convince them to, give you a permit. They'll give permits usually to like people like armored truck drivers and folks like that. But the average folks have a very, very difficult time in a place like California. Now, so the Supreme Court rejected this particular case, which means that the lower court ruling stands, and it was a 7-2 decision. Which, I was pointing out that, Donald Trump obviously hasn't changed the makeup of the Supreme Court significantly. In fact,
they haven't all died yet.
Well, right. You guys were saying that I wasn't making any sense. The point I was trying to make was that the people who supported Donald Trump seemed to think that he was going to come in there with, and clean house and somehow tip the scales of the Supreme Court. That Supreme Court's going to need to be tipped way further because it was 7-2.
He is going to, because if you look at the ages of the Supreme Court, he's going to appoint one, probably two, and possibly three.
He's going to need three to tip that vote because you got a 7-2 vote. That's you're going to still need to flip three of them to get a majority, right?
Ian, there are certainly some people who are utter mouth-breathing ignoramuses that voted for Donald Trump. Probably just as many voted on the other side for Clinton.
Sure.
But those people simply don't understand how the system works. You need to appoint more than one Supreme Court justice. Let's not forget the Republicans held over a slot that Trump filled. No justice has resigned nor died.
That's what they have to do.
Right. Well, Donald Trump isn't responsible for killing justices.
I'm not saying he is. I'm saying that he's not
what it sounds like you're saying.
Maybe I'm miscommunicating because it's clear I'm not getting through. I'm saying
let me try to communicate what you're trying to say.
Yeah. No, well, he's not flipping
Ladies and gentlemen of America, voting for one president one time does not solve all problems. Duh. Go on.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I was saying was that by appointing one of these Supreme Court people, he hasn't even come close to flipping this court to being in any way pro-gun rights. He's got a long way to go, and it's not likely that in the next 3 years, three of them are going to die or retire. It's not likely.
Well, the numbers
are
one
of them's going to die because one of them's 83.
83?
Ginsburg is, I think, 83.
Okay. But she's a female. Females tend to live longer than males.
So all you have to do is type in ages and ages of Supreme Court justices, the second option, they're right.
Do they
here.
usually die or do they usually retire?
They retire. I mean, they do it strategically because most of them are smart enough. And a lot of people were calling on Ginsburg to retire when Obama was still in office so that she wouldn't die when the next, because with no guarantee of a Democratic president next.
But she didn't do it. She wanted to hold on to the power. Presumably.
So they'll usually do if they think
84.
I understand that. But what she's pointing out is she did not resign strategically. When you say strategically, you mean politically strategically, so the Democrats would have been able to appoint her replacement for life.
Usually they, kind of base it. If they do retire, they retire strategically. I mean,
right.
Otherwise,
so she's planning to die.
You're God
she's
in the U.S. You're not going
to
to retire.
Well, she's hoping probably to live so that she can make it at least 3.5 years, right? And then good luck to her. And let's not forget the Republicans are unlikely to be able to make an appointment in the last year of Trump's reign, if that's his first before the election in 2020. But
one of my grandmothers made it into her 90s, and she's dead now. But the other one also made it into her 90s.
That's really great.
Possible.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, would you bank the future of the history on?
I didn't. Nobody said that.
Bank the future of, a third of a continent on you living to 90 just for like bragging rights? I mean, because that's what. I mean, I'm kind of glad she is because it works well for us. But that's what she's doing.
So Kennedy, the conservative justice that often votes with the liberals,
and that's how he voted on this one, right?
Well, yes, he would.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that any of those people voted with the liberals definitively on this.
Well, there was 7 people who voted to not hear the case.
We don't know why.
Right, but we don't know why.
7 people voted to not hear the case.
And they're not going to
Maybe they're voting to not hear the case because they want Ruth Bader Ginsburg to kick the bucket before they hear the next case.
Yeah, I mean, because they're not going to write an opinion on their own and say, I am deciding to not hear this case because I am waiting for Ruth Bader Ginsburg to die. Sure. And then I think we should take this case up. They're not going to do that.
But they can't take the case up after that because it's over.
They can take up some other case.
Okay. Which may not be the exact same circumstances, but nonetheless.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be a gun case sometime within the next 8 years.
Gotcha.
20 years.
But for now, the California law stands.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Right,
It's
but
not
if they
Donald
had
Trump's
taken
fault.
it,
I didn't
there's
say it
no
was.
guarantee.
You pretty much did.
No, I didn't.
There's no
Stop
guarantee
putting
that if
words
they
in my
had
mouth.
taken
Why
it,
are we
they
having
would've
this
won.
long conversation trying to convince
Quit
this
putting words in my mouth.
hard-headed a-hole that this
You don't have to convince
nonsensical-
me of anything.
I'm not trying to convince you of anything.
Well,
I'm
then
not
why
gonna
do you
talk
keep
about
going
it
with it?
anymore because what you said was dumb. I called it dumb, and I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
Would you like to go on with doing a talk show about something besides, but I said this and I said that and blah, 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 blah? It's
Yeah,
just
we were
boring.
doing that, Mark. You're the one who's bringing it down.
Well, I'm just pointing it out.
Yeah, and I just pointed out that you completely misinterpreted what I said. You said you thought I was going to give Donald Trump credit for something, and I'm not. So anyway.
Because we don't have, Scalia, the one thing he was good on is gun rights. There's not, even the allegedly conservative justices that we have left, there's not too many of them that I would put money on will definitely vote the right way on something like that. So waiting for another Trump appointee for gun rights is something I might do if I was...
If you were one of his people, you mean?
If I was on the Supreme Court.
Gotcha. Toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. Take control of the airwaves here. This is Free Talk Live. We've also got Skype. Skype username is LRN.FM.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA-packed technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon. Or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
I done forgot your name, but we had 9/11, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, if they weren't here, could it have happened?
Could what have happened? If who wasn't here? How wasted are you? That's what I want to know.
No, sir. No, I'm not wasted.
Okay.
No, please just listen to me.
Okay.
If the people weren't here that drove the planes into the Twin Towers,
Yeah.
right?
They flew them. They didn't drive them, but okay.
No, I'm not saying that. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Because now
Wow.
Yeah. I gotta think a minute.
That's all right. We got nothing but time.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on-demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long-distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu 641-793-9660. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want right here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Mark.
Also, do want to let you know about healthexcellenceselect.com. You can get a medical information card from Health Excellence Select that you can give to EMS, first responders, the emergency room, or whatever medical professional that you want. You can go to healthexcellenceselect.com and learn about how they can actually give you freedom from health insurance. You don't have to have health insurance, even though the government wants you to think that you do. healthexcellenceselect.com. They'll give you a proactive health assessment daily, as well as no-charge 24-hour access to doctors, including traditional, integrative, chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. You'll love the service and the price over at healthexcellenceselect.com. Let's talk to Nick in Madison, Wisconsin. Nick, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Melanie and Mark. Hello? Nick in Madison. Nick going once? Nick going twice in Madison? We're going to put Nick back on hold here. Maybe there's some technical difficulties over at our network studios, as we were discussing a news story from, what was it, NPR, Mark? Where was this one coming from?
This is New York Times for the gun law one. Yeah.
That was saying that the Supreme Court has rejected hearing this case regarding the unconstitutional California gun laws, which of course means that they are backing up the lower court's decision. Now, as Melanie pointed out, we don't know what the reasons were why the court voted 7-2.
I might have done that banking on the fact that Ginsburg is going to die.
You're saying that if you were on the court as a judge,
right,
and we're all going to die.
You may have
just like
but that she's going to die sometime within the next 7 years. 8 years. 7 years.
I just don't want to be sitting at the trial next year where Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies and from a gunshot wound, and poor Melanie's on trial and with a voice recording of Ruth Bader Ginsburg is gonna die. I just want to make sure that we're clarifying
where I'm at
exactly
any point.
what we're talking about here. Everybody is gonna die.
She's 80. I forgot. I just looked it up. 84.
Now, obviously, not every vote in the Supreme Court goes down party lines, but what is the current split?
Right, but she is going to...
She's going to vote against gun rights.
Vote for gun control.
So, but what is the current split? Does anybody know offhand of the 9?
It should be 5-4 conservative, but,
Well, that's a little oversimplified, too.
It is very oversimplified.
Sometimes you'll get judges who are really conservative on one thing and really liberal on something else.
Yep.
Scalia was good on guns, not so much on really anything else.
So what you're saying is even though it's 5-4 conservative, it's still too close for comfort. You'd rather wait until
it's not 5-4 conservative, as in it's not like 5, NRA, not even NRA because they're kind of liberal, it's not 5 anarchists and 4 socialists. Right. It's they're normies.
Status. They're status.
Yeah.
They're people who love the government. That's why they're in the positions that they're in. Every now and then they'll come down with a correct decision that that goes against state increasing power. But it's very rare.
If I had to guess,
do that.
There's 4 solid votes. This is just a guess. 4 solid votes for and
the thing is, if you go ahead, it's kind of like hiding in the corner until you have a clear shot. If you go ahead and you miss. If you don't have 5 people, you just screwed yourself in the future.
Right. If
they can overturn their own decisions,
but
not as easily.
Not like 4 years later.
Really?
Ian. That's just not done.
That's been done once in the history of ever.
The overturn, or
what
that
was
quickly?
That?
Overturning the Supreme Court overturning themselves.
Is that Dred
only
Scott?
once? Dred? Well, yeah, was it? I was thinking Dred Scott.
No, the
Plessy
Civil
versus
War
Ferguson?
was in between
Okay.
or after Dred Scott. They overturned one of their own cases once. I mean, they've
You
gone
mean the
against
same
their
court?
cases.
You mean the same makeup court overturned its own case?
Yes.
Or okay, so
Okay.
not a later court over. Okay, got it. Because it's happened. That's happened more than once, right?
but
Other courts down
if
the
it's
line.
the same people, I mean, most of them are going to survive. Most of them are fairly young. They're in their 50s and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the same people are not going to rule differently on the same issue. That's pretty rare in any situation. Not just the Supreme Court and not just courts.
Mm-hmm.
That's just people.
Yeah, they want to take their shot, and they want to take that shot well aimed, is what my guess would be.
Okay, all right. Well, that kind of explains a little bit better why there was such a divergent.
But it's a crappy decision. Nonetheless, I think that it's Free Talk Live's job to point out, hey, the Supreme Court made a bad decision.
Well, see, I don't
even
know
if they
that
did it for a
that's-
strategic reason.
Even from a pragmatic standpoint, that's not true. From a lawful, neutral standpoint, that's not true either. Because from a strategic standpoint, I mean, it's like sometimes the ACLU decides not to represent people because they want a clear shot.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You have no duty to defend others. And one of the reasons why you have no duty to defend others is because you have limited resources and you have to decide where they're best sent.
Yep.
And, it kind of sucks that you can't help everybody, but you can't. And this guy is going to, go to jail for however long he's going to go to jail for, and no one has a clear enough shot to save them. Maybe they could have saved him. And that's, it's a horrible thing that happened. But if you cannot save him and then wait, 6 years and save,
other people,
200 million people, I mean, that's the decision. Yeah, I don't want to be making decisions like that all day, but I think that's the right decision.
But Melanie, we're here because the Supreme Court's made bad decisions up to this point.
We're here?
Yeah, we.
What do you mean?
We, the subjects of the United States government, are here at this point where we have to ask the Supreme Court if the state of the People's Republic of California can tell people in a country where the highest law in the land says shall not be infringed regarding the right to keep and bear arms, can in fact infringe the right to keep and bear arms. Like, that's the Supreme Court's fault in the first place.
Right,
I understand it's not this court's fault, but it is the court's fault.
I mean, all the way back to Madison versus Mayberry, that might have been the worst decision in the history of, the United States government.
We're not as educated as you are.
Madison v. Marbury pretty much ruled that the Supreme Court has the right and the duty to interpret the Constitution, which nowhere in the actual Constitution does it say that that's their job. But
gee, what a surprise! They voted themselves more authority.
Court, though, I mean, why do they have? To me, Madison, the appellate jurisdiction that is given to the Supreme Court in, the Constitution, and the fact that jurors are allowed to judge the law as well as judging, guilt or innocence, therefore gives. I'm sure that this is in the Madison v. Mayberry ruling, but that therefore gives the Supreme Court, in fact, veto power over laws that exist. I mean, from a constitutional standpoint, I tend to agree with it, even if it's not written in. It just seems like sort of the natural course of things.
Right, but that's a different thing than I'm allowed to interpret the Constitution. So then they still wouldn't be able to rule, even if they had some kind of, version of jury nullification. If they had Supreme Court nullification,
okay, I see what you're saying.
That's fine, but that does not mean you can go and create things like the Commerce Clause.
Well, I never considered the power of the Supreme Court to interpret the Constitution so much as the power to interpret the constitutionality of a given law.
Right, and that I would say that every court kind of has, at least under legal theory, because the Constitution is.
But they won't even
hear.
Most courts won't even hear the word Constitution in their courtroom. They don't want to hear it.
They're that perverse at this point.
Yeah, they are that perverse.
Let's try Nick again here. I think we've got his line cleared up in Madison. Nick, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
All
Can
right.
you hear me?
Yes, we have you now. Go ahead.
Awesome, great. I just wanted to talk about gun rights. You were talking about a little earlier.
Sure.
here's what gets me. It's like, first of all, I don't own any guns. I don't. I know a lot of people do, but I don't. But I think gun rights are important. And if you think that people say that Democrats, I have a lot of friends in Madison State, they don't want to take away our guns. And then they voted for President Obama, who said that Australia had a good policy.
Let's talk more. Can you hang on, Nick? I want to bring you back here. Make sure you get a chance to say what you're driving at. More with Nick in Madison on gun rights. You're welcome to join us here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, it's Free Talk Live.
Dash is digital cash, a digital currency designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is the first digital money that's governed by its users. Join Dash at Dash.org and help build a better financial system for everyone. Find out more at Dash.org.
I've discovered the next big thing on the internet. Symbi.com is a symbiotic economy with its own currency where people trade services virtually and locally. Forget the old economy. This is your economy. Symbi.com is slick to use and is backed by the same people that helped launch Reddit and Airbnb. I'm not kidding when I say this is the next big thing. Trust me. Go get an account at Symbi.com. Take a look around and post your services. Symbi, Simbi.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
You're right. I did. We get 30 days free.
And membership is only $9.95.
Yep. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait on account. Now. Wait a minute.
Forget it.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Yeah!
Talk Live. We invite you to join us here on the radio, where you can bring up anything that you want. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And Skype on in here. It's Skype username LRN.FM. Tonight with you in the studio, you've got Ian.
Melanie.
And Mark.
So we're going to continue with your phone calls and thoughts, but I do want to let you know about the AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And it's a way for you to help Free Talk Live get on more radio stations around the country and bring more internet listeners on board, exposing new people to the ideas of freedom. You go to amp.freetalklive.com, amp.freetalklive.com. You'll get perks like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only podcast, the AMP-only Facebook group, the AMP badge on the new Free Talk Live forum. You can get all of that over at amp.freetalklive.com for $5 a month with Bitcoin or credit card or PayPal. amp.freetalklive.com. Nick is in Madison, Wisconsin. You were talking about some of your neighbors and friends and their beliefs, college students up there, their beliefs on gun control. And go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, it's not me. I mean, I'm 40 years old. I mean, I'm well beyond college, but I'm talking about people who have like I said, I don't own guns, but a lot of my friends and family do.
Okay,
and
I'm
fine.
sorry. I thought you'd mentioned something about college students up there in the last segment. I apologize.
Oh, no. What I was saying is that I was when I was talking about with one of my friends, and he said that Obama's not trying to take your gun, and I don't think he was. But the thing is, he flat out said he supported the Australian policy.
And what is that?
That was taking guns. That was.
I mean, this is pretty much the only country where you can have guns.
Policy. It was a mandatory buyback policy.
Yeah, I think that the liberals saying, ha ha, see, Obama hasn't taken the guns yet, was pretty disingenuous, because if Barack Obama had had a bill sitting on his desk that said, we will take the guns by force to every American that has one, he'd have signed it.
Yeah.
But didn't the assault weapons ban expire during the Obama administration?
Ian.
No. That expired well before. That expired during the Bush administration.
I don't know when it expired, but presidents don't make law.
No, I understand that.
It doesn't matter whether it expired, sunsetted or not under his administration. The Republicans were in power most of his administration.
But they sign law, and that's the thing.
That's true.
So, all I'm trying to say is, like, if like I said, I don't own any guns. I've never owned any guns, but I've shot a lot of guns, but I don't own any.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care if people do, law-abiding people. But, if you're going to tell me that you don't want to take my gun, don't support a policy of taking guns, which is what Obama did.
Yep, apparently right. The assault weapons ban expired in September of 2004. I don't know why I thought 2012 or something was the year for that, but anyway.
Maybe something did.
Oh, that's why I didn't know what you were talking about, because it expired
in
when
2004.
I turned 18. So.
Yeah. Well, 2012, 2004, I mean, it all melds together for me. So, Nick, anything else you want to share tonight?
No, it's all good. You guys go ahead. That's all I wanted to share.
Thanks for sharing. I appreciate your call and thoughts here. And the toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733.
So, for me, if I could go down on record on this one, is like, look, I don't think that every person in America should be able to carry a gun. However, that's what the Constitution says.
Okay.
So I'm going to presume the Constitution applies to adults, and therefore that it would start at 18, because that's when
Can't
you
you
can
legally
vote.
carry as a teenager who's not an adult in New Hampshire if you've been given the gun?
Under
as a
New
gift?
Hampshire law, yes. That has
Right.
nothing to do with federal law.
I think that's new, though, because at one point since I've been here, I remember the Travises, the youngest Travis, had to carry a knife up until his 18th birthday or 16th birthday or something like that.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, New Hampshire has no age restrictions on open carry. You still have to be 21. I think you still have to be 21 to concealed carry.
Even under constitutional carry?
I think so. I could be wrong about that, but I think it is. But regardless of that, there are some federal laws that make that a little bit shady. So if you do it in your state and your state's pretty pro-gun, you'll probably be okay. But it's kind of like, weed in Colorado. If the feds decide to bust you, you are done.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know more about age restrictions because I think it was probably, according to nh.gov and Google, license holders must be 21 years of age or older. But if it's legal to open carry as somebody under the age of 21, then in theory, if it's now legal to conceal carry without a license...
Well, that's not how bills work. The law, it would apply to whatever restrictions that they put in that bill. And I read it when they passed it, but I haven't read it since then.
It's been a while. Okay. If you want to join us here, our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. So coming up here tonight, it's obedience training time for students in New Jersey public schools. Melanie, you've got a story that is going to be indoctrinating students more so than I guess on average, because they're pretty much, every school has...
I don't know about more so, but just in a new and different way this time.
They have a class specifically to inform students of how to be obedient to the police?
It's not a class. It's a bill that they're proposing to, and I have the language of the bill, basically to teach students that they have to respect cops.
Right, so let's force people to respect others, because that always works, right? That doesn't build any resentment whatsoever.
Right,
when you
so
force people to respect
public
others.
schools would be required to have curriculum. It doesn't have to be. This doesn't say that it has to be its own class. This is Assembly Number 1114 in New Jersey.
So it could be part of government class. I remember I had a class called government.
Right.
When I was in high school.
So it doesn't specify how it has to be taught, but it would require them to teach students to, quote, on interacting with law enforcement in a manner marked by mutual cooperation and respect. So not only is this wrong, because for reasons that are obvious to people like me, I guess, it's also illegal because we have this thing called the First Amendment.
Sure.
And
you should be able to be however you want to be towards the police, although it may or may not help you.
But the First Amendment's as meaningful as the Second Amendment, right?
It should be.
The First Amendment has a little bit more actually still there than the Second.
Well, they haven't torn it apart, but the First Amendment has the right to freedom of speech, but the Second Amendment has the right to keep and bear arms. Second Amendment says shall not be infringed. I can't read the First Amendment. I've got it in front of my hand, but I don't have my reading glasses. But I'm sure that maybe there's some terminology like shall not be infringed in it. I don't know the answer to that.
Congress shall make no law.
Congress shall make no law. There you go.
Yeah, so you can't even make a law about free speech.
Abridging the freedom of speech or the press. Or the right of peaceable assembly.
So you can make a law about carrying weapons, but you can't infringe the right to keep and bear arms?
I'm not saying that that's a useful distinction, but that's what the paper says.
That's what it says.
I'm not even saying that's what it should be. To me, the Second Amendment is more important than the First Amendment, or more. If we're gonna have state enforced rights, then the Second Amendment is to be the most important one that you could possibly have, because without that, you don't have anything else.
Yeah, I'm interested in learning more. I know you're going to share more from whatever news story you might have here, but I think this is a tacit admission by the state of New Jersey that all of their indoctrinating, their pro-police indoctrination that they do early on in schools, because there's all kinds of pro-cop indoctrination that goes on from as early as elementary school, that it's an abject failure, that they have failed at creating the respect that they demand, that they're now demanding, saying that, look, kids, now you're in high school and you still haven't learned to respect these police, so now we're going to tell you better respect them or else. The police haven't earned their respect, so now they're just trying to force them to respect the police, and it's not going to work either.
Right, and to me, this kind of and maybe this is me being biased, but to me, this feels like, oh no, we have too many kids getting shot by cops. Let's do something about it. And then rather than train the police, we're going to try to train the kids to not get shot instead of training police not to throw grenades on infants.
They do have a 13-year indoctrination program. Why shouldn't they use it?
They are.
Like, what do they have? What do they have government schools for, if not to indoctrinate?
Well, right, but it's because you have already 13 years of indoctrination, you now have to have a special curriculum and have a statute to mandate a special curriculum of, we still don't have our stuff together. Now, okay, we're having a specific how not to get shot by the police
If
class.
you need any more proof that the government is the most inefficient type of organization out there, the fact that they have a 13-year indoctrination program during your most formative years and fail to properly indoctrinate you just goes to show they are a bunch of dummies.
855 450 free, like freedom. Join us on the radio. This is Free Talk Live. Hour 2's coming up.
You have probably heard about Bitcoin and virtual currencies, but you really don't know what to do next. Maybe you feel like they have already passed you by. Nothing could be further from the truth. Bitcoin is an emerging technology still. It's still in beta and it's sweeping the globe. All the information that you need to learn about Bitcoin is at bitcoin.com. Go to your browser, type in bitcoin.com, choose a wallet program, get Bitcoins, and then spend Bitcoins. Bitcoin.com, the only site you need to know for virtual currencies. Bitcoin.com.
When I get to about 3/4, when I get down to the bottom, a couple more scoops, it's time to place my order. Dinovite.com.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of NomoFlea free.
NomoFlea flea spray kills fleas safely with no poison.
Because it's a polypeptide protein molecule made from
vegetable oil.
Try NomoFlea.
Free this week at Dinovite.com.
Just feed your dog right. Use Dinovite. DINOVITE.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, June 26th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.52 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,247 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.6 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,482. Antiwar.com reports while Saudi Arabia's list of 13 demands for Qatar is mostly the same as their rejected 10 demands from a couple of weeks prior, they included some very specific additions. One of the most noteworthy was a demand for Qatar to expel Turkey from a military base on the Qatari Peninsula. Qatar is not likely to accept the demands at any rate, but Turkish Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan sought to get out in front of that and reject the demand, saying that the suggestion violates Qatar's sovereignty and that Turkey has no intention of abandoning their base. Turkey is very ideologically close to Qatar and has been supportive of them during the blockade. The deployment of Turkish troops into Qatar during the blockade was meant to bolster Qatar while other neighbors were cutting ties. No one seemed to have trouble with Turkey's troops being there initially, but Egypt particularly has loudly condemned Turkey for supporting Qatar and suggesting a blockade against Turkey as well. While Turkey is too economically powerful to practically try to organize a blockade against, trying to get Qatar to expel them does seem to have been inserted into the demands primarily to spite Erdogan. The inclusion of an anti-Turkey move is potentially risky, however, as Erdogan doesn't intend to leave and the U.S. can't possibly endorse the demand if they include expelling a NATO member nation from a military base in a country that the U.S. also has a base in. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports California-based Overhill Farms is recalling 54,000 pounds of frozen chicken bite products after bones were found in the food, including some designed for toddlers. The USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service announced the recall on Saturday of the products sold exclusively at Target stores in the United States. The USDA said in a press release that consumers complained about the problem to the company. No injuries or illnesses were reported, but it is a Class 1 recall, the agency's highest health risk rating. The USDA described it as a health hazard situation where there's a reasonable probability that the use of the product will cause serious adverse health consequences or death. Consumers are urged to throw the products away or return them to where they were purchased. The recall includes 3-ounce Yummy Spoonful boxes for toddlers and 30-pound bulk cases of chicken bites in broccoli, carrot, and sweet potato varieties sold nationwide to retailers. The products were produced on August 30th, February 1st, February 9th, and April 25th. The full list of recalled products, including best before dates, can be found on the USDA's website. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a Texas mother has been arrested for the death of her 2 toddlers, whom she said were left in a hot car to teach the older child a lesson while the woman smoked and took a nap. Danny Huffman, a spokeswoman for the Parker County Sheriff's Office, said via email that Cynthia Randolph was being held over the weekend on $200,000 bail for the deaths of her 16-month-old and 2-year-old daughter last month. Randolph had originally told investigators that she had been folding laundry and watching television in her rural home west of Fort Worth while the boy, Kavanaugh Ramirez, and his sister, Juliet Ramirez, played in the back porch, according to a criminal complaint. After noticing the children were missing, Randolph told officers she found them unresponsive in a locked car and broke a window to rescue them. The temperature was close to 96 degrees Fahrenheit, and emergency personnel that Randolph had called pronounced the children dead at the scene. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and Numery supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
This is the Onion Week in Review. Sources are confirming your dog died earlier today, and we're all really sorry you had to find out about it like this, buddy. Though it's a lousy thing to have to learn from an online web video, and even shittier to hear from a cold, hardened newsman's voice that you can't put a face to, your pet passed away in his sleep while you went out today, and we understand how shocked you must be right now. Sources added that there are many local shelters with animals in need of a good home, though we understand that no dog can ever truly replace the one you just lost. I lost a dog once, but my mom was the one who told me about it, and she was quite the comfort. In this week's op-ed pages, Pantene CEO Marcus Russo laments feeling like the only one who gives a shit about rich, lustrous hair. In other news, a study finds that newborn infants can tell if their parents are losers. A man who just assembled a desk is unsure how he has every screw left over. And Jeff Beck is lured into a dark alley with the old guitar pick on a string trick. For more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. Dial toll free and bring up anything you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Mark.
We were just discussing a story, Melanie, that you wanted to share with us tonight. We hadn't even gotten into it in the last segment, but it's basically about New Jersey, which is one of the least free states of all of the 50 states. I believe it ranked in at number 46 in this year's Freedom in the 50 States.
It's in the bottom 5
study. So yeah, not a great place to live if you care about freedom. And it's also noteworthy or notorious as one of the most corrupt states where the police are just bad. I mean, they are just... You talk to people that live in New Jersey and have experience with the police, and they generally don't have nice things to say. The cops are there. They're known for corruption. They're there, known for just being thugs. and some of the worst cops. So it's no surprise that teenagers might not have any respect for them, especially when the police are going around arresting their buddies for things like, possession of a plant or of a drink. These are the things that teenagers are frequently targeted for by the police in states all across the United States. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why there's not much respect for cops, because the cops, they honestly haven't earned it. Just because you're wearing a badge, just because you're wearing a pressed uniform, doesn't mean that you get respect automatically. And that's basically, and again, I haven't heard the story yet, but from where? Wow, do you recall the source on this story? That
NBC.
NBC News is saying there's going to be some sort of law that has been proposed there that would require schools to do respect training, basically.
Right.
Can you tell us more?
So it was and it's still a bill. It hasn't been passed yet, or at least it hasn't on the 22nd. And I couldn't find anything that said it was. I don't think it is. So they would have to teach kids from kindergarten through 12th grade. And it's unclear as to whether it's a whole class or whether this is incorporated into some other class. There's going to be some committee that sorts out the details. But to teach kids to respect cops and respect and cooperate cops, that's also probably a Fourth Amendment violation as well as a First Amendment violation.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, you don't have any requirement to.
I'm sorry, not a fourth, a fifth.
Self-incrimination.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about there. Okay, gotcha.
So, yeah.
Right, so if you cooperate to the point of you getting arrested, then you have done their job for them.
After you have been informed that you should do so in your government indoctrination class.
Yeah.
Right, so, and they stopped just short of saying that they were basically training kids not to get shot instead of training all. Because you can disrespect anybody else, and whether or not you should is a separate argument. You don't usually get shot for disrespecting people who don't have badges.
Well,
generally not.
I'm of the opinion you should not run around flipping birds at anyone, including police officers.
I tend to agree. It's very uncouth.
Yelling, epithets and these sorts of things. And that if you do, you are liable to receive negative consequences. However, a professional law enforcement officer understands that people disrespecting them is them using their First Amendment rights.
Yeah, it kind of comes with the job. I mean, the parking meters, even before any of y'all got here, had the signed statement saying, basically getting told off as part of our job. I mean, so cops kind of need to realize this. I mean, especially if they're going around attacking people, but
yeah. You got to be professional. And
also, as cops have this really different concept of what they think respect is. Most people, when they say that they want respect, are talking about being treated as a human being, not being unnecessarily being mean to.
Not being obeyed.
Right, whereas cops are like, if you're not worshiping them, then you're being disrespectful. And those are two very different standards.
I wouldn't propose to speak for police officers and what they think, and considering
they think different things.
There
They're
are
individuals.
lots of them.
Yeah.
I will tell you that there is a huge phalanx of mind-numbed myrmidons on Facebook that essentially believe that you need to, lay down your coat for every officer that wanders by, and those sorts of things. Once they find out I'm a firefighter, it really befuddles them because they're not. Which one of them must I worship more? Right? Like, I get that that's a problem, but ultimately, all of us are government bureaucrats, right? We work for a bureau. That bureau may or may not be police or firefighter or whatever that bureau might be. And we've got all kinds of rules, and those rules, tie the hands. And when you use discretion, and when that discretion is contrary to the law, you should have to face the consequences. That's it. They're not people who work for the government aren't special at all. Even if those people carry hoses or guns.
Badge. They have a shiny badge.
I'm sure I could get a badge.
They have the ability to shoot someone and get away with it, so that by definition does make them special. Don't you think?
Well, I think that that's how it's come across.
I get what you're saying. They're still human beings. Their S smells too, right?
Well,
They're
but
just
okay, so
us.
when I was working at Walmart, if someone disrespected me, I do not then get to shoot their dog and beat them down in the aisle.
No, and you shouldn't even be nasty to them.
And I shouldn't.
Right.
And whether or not they should tell me something mean is completely irrelevant to how I should respond.
Right.
To
I
it.
worked in retail as well, and you've got to keep a smile on your face. You've got to stay professional when the inevitable.
Cops don't even have to do that. They don't have to be nice and friendly and smiley.
No.
They just have to not shoot you.
That's all you're asking for.
It's a pretty low standard.
Right. But customer service, they're not about that because you're not their customer. You're their victim. You're not their master. You're their servant. And that's the way they look at it. You're their subject. They even use that term to describe you. Listen to their two-way radios.
I don't think they think you're the servant. I think that they think you're the subject.
Yeah. Exactly. So if you want to join us here, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. What else do we need to know about this story?
So a couple of quotes that I find interesting, I guess, from the bill's sponsor, Sheila Olivia, said, and she comes really close to admitting the actual purpose of the bill.
Okay.
She says, the number of police-related shootings around the nation have created a mistrust of police in many communities. This can help rebuild the trust that is essential for law enforcement to work.
Look, we shouldn't lower the amount of police shootings. The United States is the highest in the Western world of police shootings, doubling Canada's, which is second, I believe. I mean, there was more police shootings of citizens in the U.S. this year than there was in Great Britain in the 20th century. Admittedly, Great Britain doesn't have the population the United States does, but it's not that kind of disparity.
What about per capita, though?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Iceland. Iceland's had one shooting since its inception as a nation.
Right, and didn't they hold a funeral for the victim?
Well, the police came to the funeral, and they were sort of genuinely upset. The guy totally deserved shooting, too. Right?
Whereas the cops, they're giving each other high fives when they shoot somebody here. They party.
Yeah,
and they get bonuses.
It depends.
And when I first heard that those cops went to that funeral, I was kind of like, well, that's highly inappropriate and kind of Westboro of them. But then it had to be explained to me, because I'm me, that no, the cops were actually upset that they had to shoot somebody. They weren't going to protest the funeral, as would be the case here. They were actually sad about it. And from what I heard about this guy, he was actually being a present danger to everyone around him, and there was,
a shotgun.
I mean, it was the right decision.
Police make lots of good shoots in the United States, but they make lots and lots and lots of shoots.
Well, right, but if you just go around shooting everybody, you're going to just by
get it right
pure
sometimes.
chance, yeah.
So the Philando Castile, the guy who shot that, Yanez, Officer Geronimo Yanez.
Yes.
If there was no video, he would still have his job. His department would be defending him up and down. He would probably get a promotion because
I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah, it's a safe bet because that's what's happened in so many of these cases where these cops, where there's no video, there might just be witnesses, but that doesn't matter because police. The police are believed far more often than any witnesses.
If there's no video that shows a cop to be guilty, he's innocent. If there's no video that shows you to be innocent, you're guilty.
And they'll get a promotion.
That's justice in America.
At a minimum, yeah.
And they'll get a little bit of time off, paid leave while the case is investigated and ultimately decided in their favor. More coming up here in moments. You can share your thoughts. 855-450-FREE. Like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
Don't do what I did and run out.
If it's working, don't quit. Why would you stop?
Why undo all the good that's been accomplished?
You've got to feed them right for life.
Dynavite is nutrition.
If I ever took Roy off of Dynavite.
No.
When I get to about 3/4, when I get down to the bottom of my box of Dynavite,
oh no, I've got a couple more scoops.
it's time to place my order. Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of NomoFlea free.
NomoFlea flea spray kills fleas safely with no poison.
Because it's a polypeptide protein molecule made from
vegetable oil.
Try NomoFlea.
Free this week at Dynavite.com.
Just feed your dog right. Use Dynavite.
Dynavite for life.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Hi, this is Ron Paul, former congressman and Republican presidential candidate. I love these summer months because this is when I get to enjoy the fresh fruits and vegetables that are being harvested on small farms and in our backyards. We all look forward to garden tomatoes and corn on the cob. Don't you wish there was a better way to preserve their true tastes and flavors? I'm here to tell you that there is a better way. It's by using the amazing home freeze dryer from Harvest Right. I have a Harvest Right freeze dryer and use it to preserve the foods I love. Strawberries, apples, and even lasagna and ice cream can stay fresh for 25 years. And the best part of my freeze drying is my family and I have a supply of long-lasting food on hand. So no matter what may come, we feel better prepared. We love our freeze dryer. To learn more, go to harvestright.com or call 800-923-9591. That's harvestright.com or 800-923-9591.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com. We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live. You can dial on in here toll free at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. If you want to help build a better financial system for everyone, you need to join Dash. Dash is digital cash. It's a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, private, and easy. Fees are low, and transactions are fast and can even be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. It's Dash. It's decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the Dash network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. Join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash. Learn why at Dash.org.
I was looking at dashforcenews.org today, and there was a story about Evan Duffield, who's like one
the
of the
founder
guys,
of Dash.
Yeah, founder of Dash. He's released a master Dash plan, including mass market level scaling. It's a great story, and sort of shows where they're intending to take Dash, and they're pretty much succeeded in doing the things that they've said they were going to do up to this point, and that's just pretty powerful.
Yep, I've been impressed with what I've seen so far out of Dash, and that was before they signed on as a sponsor of this program.
Yeah.
Let's go to Dave. He's in New Hampshire, and we can talk more about obedience training for high school students when it comes to dealing with the police. But Dave, you're on Free Talk Live first. Go ahead.
Yeah, speaking of the police, there was an incident in New Hampshire which I think in a way is newsworthy more for its frequency than for its rareness. And that was the police on the Seacoast arrested a man for driving under suspension. And his girlfriend claims that he had no real way of knowing that he was under suspension.
Happens a lot, right?
He had, I beg your pardon?
That happens a lot, right?
My understanding, I mean, maybe you guys know more, but is it actually possible to determine can you call around and find out that, yeah, you need to turn yourself in, or, yeah, you owe a fine, or, yeah, your driver's license is suspended and you need to take this action to fix it? Or do you just have to drive around until you get arrested?
A lot of times people don't find out until they get arrested. But yes, you could in theory call the DMV and ask them for your driver's status. But how often does somebody even think to do something like that? They do generally send a notice to you upon your license being suspended. But a lot of people will move without updating an address or whatever, or just for whatever reason, the physical piece of paper just never makes it into their hands, so they have no idea. I didn't find out. I remember once, it was right around Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree time, when Officer Peliquin here in Keene saw me. We were doing a protest outside of one of the schools here, and he saw me and actually came up to me and did me the favor of letting me know that my license had been suspended. He didn't have to. He could have sat there on the street and waited till I got in the car and drove away and then pulled me over and, got me for it. So
why do you hate police, Ian?
I don't.
Well, police are nice to Ian because they know that he'll talk good about them.
Right. That's the thing, is that police...
I'm never going to have police be nice to me, but it's worth it in my opinion.
It can happen, Melanie.
People call on a regular basis and tell Ian and I that we hate police, and the fact that a police officer will do Ian the solid of coming up and saying, hey, man, your license is suspended. I hope I don't end up seeing you in a car, is pretty telling as to how police that interact with Ian in real life feel about
That's
him.
a little bit of respect, right?
And
Right there.
that was more of a joke than anything else.
Yeah.
I've actually not had a problem with police in New Hampshire, even when I've done things in New Hampshire that would have got me shot in Louisiana.
Yeah, me too, man.
So I don't know how you're alive because you stood in front of a cop car.
That was the easier one. I was a little more worried about getting into somebody's car when he got pulled over. It was right outside of the college here in Keene. Somebody had gotten pulled over, and the cops were talking to him, and when the cop walked away from the car after he'd gotten his license or whatever, I talked to the dude, and the dude let me get into the cab with him. And that one I was just wondering how the police were going to respond, given that...
Yeah, but I've not they're still cops, and, whether they do it for strategic reasons or not, I haven't had a problem with them as far as doing things illegally.
Sometimes just getting out of a car could get you have a gun drawn on you in some places, but that's never happened to me here.
The Supreme Court kind of backed themselves into a corner in that, though, because they keep insisting that passengers of pulled over cars are not being detained. And if you're not being detained, you can walk your happy self down the road.
I was threatened with a disorderly conduct charge if I did not get back into a car.
And they didn't do it for a reason.
But what do police know
I got back in the car.
What do police know about Supreme Court rulings?
Nothing.
Nearly nothing.
Right. They just do what they want, and then they get away with it.
That's it's funny we call them law enforcement officers, but they don't enforce the law.
No, a caveat to that is if they're doing a quote investigation and they order people to stay in a specific place for safety reasons, they can pretty much do that. But until they tell you not to, you're not being detained. You can go walk to McDonald's, do whatever you want.
Yeah, I tried, man. I think I was on a suspended sentence at that time, so I really wasn't interested in pushing that particular issue. So I did get back in the car after protesting verbally, but that was about as far as I could push that one. Now, Dave Ridley, I was surprised we didn't see you up at Shire Fest or Somalia Fest this last week.
Oh, I don't know. After you've been to the first 7 pork fests, they start to all kind of seem the same.
I see.
So I don't go to every
moved on.
one. I think I went to the one in 2014. Is probably the last one. In a
Gotcha.
couple of years, I'll start missing it probably.
Okay. Well, it's Shirefest is not PorkFest. It is probably more like PorkFest originally was, with no centralized control or bureaucracy to make decisions or make bad decisions in that case. So it was much more just people camping and kind of having fun and hanging out.
Making their own bad decisions.
I don't know. I would say people they were doing fine. Anyway, Dave, anything else you want to share tonight?
My theory is sort of that Free Staters do a sufficient amount of partying. We don't need to do any more partying to be free.
You get them, Dave.
We should be besieging,
You're darn right.
besieging the authorities.
Yeah, well, I am with you, and I think we need to get more doers and fewer partiers to move up here. But once a year campground festival, I don't think is uncalled
if
for.
they would do that instead of all the other stuff,
instead of every day.
Party for a week instead of
Right, and the important thing about these freedom festivals that happen in New Hampshire is to attract people from outside. That's really the purpose, because any of us can go camping anytime we want. But to have a special event where people from elsewhere can come and have an excuse to come visit New Hampshire and feel what it's like to be around people who care about freedom, more people than they could possibly know. I think that's what the real goal of these festivals is, and it's nice to see that there are some competing festivals out there now with PorkFest. I would call it friendly competition, but
I would not call it friendly.
Well, I didn't feel unfriendly towards the folks at PorkFest.
Yeah, okay, you're not unfriendly towards anyone, Ian. Have you seen some of the posts, especially the first year of Somalia Fest?
No, I don't.
They were very not friendly.
Oh, I see. Some of the attendees were, people were kind of butthurt.
I mean, the advertising for Somalia Fest wasn't really that, and I don't really think it necessarily should have been, but
Dave, did you have more you wanted to share?
Well, yeah, and more of a question. Tell me more about this process of determining your status, because are you sure that you can really do that? Can you really call the DMV and really get a straight answer as to whether your license is suspended?
Moments, we'll answer that coming up. Free Talk Live.
If there's a toxic chemical, biological, gas smoke emergency while traveling at home or on your job, are you protected? Are you prepared? There are over 400,000 fires in the USA every year. Up to 85% of all deaths in a fire are due to smoke inhalation. 3 minutes without air, and we as humans will die. Be prepared and escape safely with our Safe Escape Smoke Hoods, giving you up to 60 minutes of breathable air protection. Order yours online at ase-safety.com. That's ase-safety.com. And get up to 40% off plus free shipping.
If you had purchased $100 of Bitcoin in 2010, today you'd have $2,600,000. While that sinks in, you now have a huge cryptocurrency opportunity trading at a guaranteed 7 cents per coin. ProCoin, a coin publicly traded on the open market, easily converted to cash, available in 60 countries, and ProCoin is the only cryptocurrency offering coin-back rewards for consumers and merchants. Take action by June 30th at procoincurrency.net. That's procoincurrency.net. Deadline for 7-cent guarantee is June 30th.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. Coincap.io.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at CreditSecretsRevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free, join us right here and bring up anything you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we do have Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. Tonight in the studio with you, it's Ian.
Melanie.
And Mark.
Also, want to let you know about the official wallet of Free Talk Live. That's right, it's Jaxx. You go to jaxx.io. You can download it there from the Google or Apple App Store, jaxx.io. It allows you to hold not just Bitcoin, but also Ether and Dash and a bunch of others. And in fact, it seems like they're always expanding
Litecoin,
the list.
DAO tokens,
Ethereum Classic.
Gnosis.
The DAO tokens are long gone, Mark. You can't hold those anymore.
Yeah, but aren't they all called DAOs, though?
No, you're talking about the Decentralized Autonomous Organization. They can have other DAOs, and maybe they have created some, but you're talking about this project that happened, last year, where people were trying to join this decentralized organization, and it's like a cryptocurrency thing on the Ethereum blockchain, and all this money was poured into it, all this Ether, all this digital currency was poured into this thing, and there were some bad lines of code, which basically created a loophole that somebody who was real smart and knows how to program went in there and managed to program themselves millions, I think a few $1 million worth of Ether to come right out into his account. And that's actually what ended up leading to the Ethereum split, the blockchain split that created two Ethers. Now there's Ethereum and there's Ethereum Classic as a result of the failure of that decentralized autonomous organization.
Okay, so here I'm looking at the list of wallets that's on MyJaxx here, and it says Augur Rep tokens and Zcash and Doge and a variety of
Doge. Cool.
Yeah, Gnosis, but it also has the DigiX DAO.
Maybe that's a new thing.
There you go.
I mean, the old DAO
that's why I got confused. Is because I won't claim to know everything about all this cryptocurrency stuff, but there's another DAO.
There you go. All right, Dave is still with us here in New Hampshire. He's Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com. You were asking if it's possible to call up the DMV and inquire as to the suspension status of one's account, if you will, or one's license. I believe that it is. Because I know that you can certainly call to pay them to get your suspension to go away.
Oh, you can call them from that?
I think so. I think they'll take a credit card. I could be wrong about that, but I have to say that all things considered, bureaucrats are not known for their customer service, but I've had worse times with bureaucrats than I have the Concord DMV. I remember there was one, and I don't remember all the details, but I do recall having some sort of issue with a suspension being entered wrongfully or something like that, and I was able to successfully escalate my issue to like whatever level of management was above the regular phone operators, and they actually resolved the problem for me. So like I didn't expect them to, because I expected bureaucrats are slow and ignorant or whatever, and they actually surprised me with being able to solve that. So I think that you would have good luck, Dave, but the only way to know for sure is to call in and ask.
Yeah, I guess I will try and do that and maybe report back in what I find out. Of course, that leaves the whole question of whether you have a warrant for your arrest for something else, and whether you can find out that or not.
That's a good question.
You should be able to call the police station and ask.
Correct.
But no.
Some states actually have an online tool that you can use, but I don't believe New Hampshire does.
They might not be integrated, so if you call Concord, they might not know about what Manchester has, and that probably depends on the severity of the charge. But you should be able to call the police department and see what they have.
There you go. Dave, anything else?
Could be. That's it.
All right, man. Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number, yep, 855-450-FREE. That's Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com. Great YouTube channel where folks can go and kind of see what's happening here in New Hampshire and a lot of the cool activism that is going on here, and, of course, a lot of it that has gone on in the past, because he's been reporting from here for longer than we've been here. And, Mark, you and I, we've been here for a long time. We've been here since 2006. I think Dave came up in 03 or 04. One of the earliest movers here as part of the ongoing New Hampshire freedom migration. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Now, I don't know if there was more that you wanted to share, Melanie, from that story that you had about New Jersey, where there's a proposed law that would mandate that New Jersey schools, sounds like high schools, would have to implement...
Well, no, kindergarten through 12.
Kindergarten through 12. I missed that detail. So every grade, every year, you'll get a fresh recap on why you should do as the police say and just obey blindly, make sure that you don't offend the police, and forced students basically to respect the police.
The only thing I really wanted to add to that is that there were some groups they were referred to as activists in the story, but who kind of complained about it. And so the bill is amended, and it's not law yet, to include, in addition to teaching you how to respect and cooperate with the police, which is illegal, to also teach you your rights with the police, which surface level seems like a good thing. I think that my fear would be that that would save it in court.
I wouldn't want the government to teach rights with the police.
Well, yeah, and I don't want them doing it, and so now it looks like it's a more balanced thing than it really is.
Kids, you do have a right to remain silent, but you really shouldn't remain silent whenever the police talk to you.
But you don't
really
even have a right to remain silent anymore. The Supreme Court said that now that police can infer guilt based on your silence, unless you say, I am remaining silent, which is not silence.
Yeah, it's
crazy. It's just the dumbest thing. The one thing that television has taught us when it comes to cops is that you have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford one will be appointed for you.
Generally speaking, and there are some extreme exceptions to this, but generally speaking, the only thing you should tell a cop is one of three things: explicitly invoke your right to remain silent, explicitly invoke your right to an attorney, and there is some weird case law that you have to be really explicit, and you can ask to go to the bathroom. Those are the three things that you should only ever say to a cop.
This is you've been through, you're a law school graduate?
Yes.
This is if you're being arrested, right? Because
pretty much every lawyer will say the same thing.
Because otherwise, another good one is, am I being detained? So if you have not yet been arrested and you'd like to ascertain, if you want to ascertain your status with that officer.
So if you're not already detained, and that you should always, if they're starting to tell you to do things, you should always ask if you're being detained, because then they have to either detain you and then
explain why.
They don't necessarily have to explain why, but that kind of locks them in from there on. So if they didn't have anything good at that point...
Well, they need to have a reasonable, articulable suspicion to detain you, correct?
I think that's a better a question to ask is that do you have reasonable, articulable suspicion to detain me? Because what it does...
That sounds more legal, like
Right.
you know your stuff.
Right. Well, it gives that warning to them. Hey, dummy, you're not dealing with another dummy. Right? Like, and then they have to, not only when you've set up for the question, do you have reasonable, articulable suspicion? If, assuming they know what the word articulable means, then you can say, okay, officer, please articulate that suspicion.
There's a funny scene from The Practice where they get the cop on the stand and they're like, did you have reasonable... And the prosecutor's like, did you have reasonable articulable suspicion at the time when you arrested or detained? Or, it's been a couple years since I watched it. Or, you know, the defendant, and he's like, yes. And the defense gets up to cross, and they're like, what does articulable mean? And he's like, I don't. And he's like, but you know you had it.
Yeah, I know it when I see it. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. Of course, a great website with lots of good information on interacting with the police, which, again, you shouldn't do, is copblock.org. They've got a neat little flyer that we like to hand out around here. It's the Cop Block Warning Flyer, which does go over some tips for when you're being hassled by the cops. Always a good idea to keep your mouth shut. Don't answer any questions unnecessarily. If you have to, if you're driving, you do generally have to show your driver's license and registration, and in some states the insurance. But you don't have to talk to them while you show them.
In some states, you do have to identify yourself even while walking.
That's true.
And depending on how they ask for it.
Oh, but that doesn't mean you have to show them ID. It just means you have to identify yourself.
Some states you do.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. You need to do your own research on those things. It's Free Talk Live.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try at Dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org.
You've said it yourself. We need a healthcare system that focuses on health, not sickness. Health insurance pays for treating sickness but gives you nothing for being healthy. There's a free market healthcare company that gives you freedom from health insurance. They give you a proactive health assessment daily, no charge 24-hour access to doctors. Check them out right now at healthexcellenceselect.com. Any kind of doctor, traditional, integrative, chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. You'll love the service and price. HealthExcellenceSelect.com. HealthExcellenceSelect.com.
Are you happy washing your hands with harsh chemicals? Are you happy doing laundry with detergents? Are you happy paying high prices? Find your happiness with Pure Soap. These all-natural, earth-friendly Pure Soaps are the very best you've ever used. Buy in bulk. Get a 12, 36, or 48-month supply, or get items individually and still save big. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now, earth-friendly and natural soaps. Your family deserves the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com. Why not put your money up the drain for a change? See them at 5starsoap.com or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog. Cal Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils. See their full selection of soaps at 5starsoap.com. That's F-I-V-E starsoap.com. Or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices.
Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for lrn.fm in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free and bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. The Skype username here is LRN.FM. Tonight with you in the studio, it's Ian.
Melanie.
And Mark.
Coming up, how many people actually reported Bitcoin to the IRS? Got an interesting story from Fortune magazine.
I hope no one did.
Well, a little more than no one, but not that many. So we'll get into it. I consider this to be very good news. We'll get into that coming up here in moments. And of course, you can share your calls and thoughts with us. Let's go to the phones. To the fun. Joe in West Palm Beach, watching us on YouTube at cam.freetalklive.com. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. First off, I am not watching you on YouTube. You shouldn't lie to your listeners.
Well, that's what it says here in my call screening software. So how are you listening to the show?
I'm not.
Okay.
But I did see you on YouTube. That's what I am calling about. I was watching some videos of you and your crew of cronies this past week on YouTube, and I was shocked at what I saw.
What did you see that was so shocking?
Degenerates that were harassing members of your community to prove a political point. And I was wondering,
what are you referring to? What did you see that was so offensive?
It didn't offend me, I guess, but I saw you chasing around the traffic lady, the parking violation.
The parking attendants, yeah. Okay, so you saw some footage from Robin Hood of Keene where
there's a whole bunch of that footage out there, and I can assure you, you didn't see me, and you probably didn't see Melanie. And if
I was not here.
Right. So it's the use and what you saw, it gets very difficult to see. So why don't you
I was
describe
in some of that though.
Some of it, but not all of it by any stretch of the imagination. You probably weren't in a
90%
1% of the video that's on the internet regarding traffic, meter maids. So please,
that wasn't really a Free Talk Live thing.
Incorrect.
All right, you got me. You got me. Lay it on me, prosecutor. What'd you see?
Incorrect. I would like you to address. I am genuinely curious. Because
no, you're not. You're genuinely being combative.
But go ahead. I want to hear what he has to say. Please. What are you curious about?
You can't be curious and combative. Aren't you some sort of intellectual? You can
curious.
No, we're not intellectuals. We're talk show hosts.
To it, and combative has a feel to it. I know what I'm hearing.
Sir, I'm wondering, sir, my question is, are you guys receiving government benefits while you guys are doing this? I think you are.
No.
What would the benefit be?
Incorrect! Incorrect, sir!
What government benefit would you think that?
I drive on the roads that I pay for.
I don't think you. You're Ian Freeman, right?
No, my name is Mark
Edge.
My name is Mark
The man
Edge,
screaming at you is Mark Edge.
I pay for my life.
Yeah.
You pay for your life?
Yeah.
Mark Edge? I've never even heard of Mark Edge.
Well, now you have. Now you have.
That's because you called in saying you did this and you did that to 3 people.
Okay, apparently he meant he was talking to me. So
fine, I'm a founder of this radio program. I started in 2002.
No one's ever heard of Mark Edge. He's so irrelevant. Mark Edge, Dave from New York, is much more popular than Mark Edge.
Okay, Joe.
The guy from Poughkeepsie?
I don't buy what you're saying right now. But go ahead with whatever. So you were wondering if if I was on welfare.
Yeah, and I was wondering. I was watching these videos, and you guys, honestly, if you were in my town, I would be so furious at what you guys do.
Why? Do you love parking enforcement?
You're trying to do.
And what does that have to do with whether or not somebody's on welfare?
Many people would not have the time to do these things because they have full-time jobs.
I see.
We're journalists. We're talk show hosts. We have time because we do a show in the evening.
That's why I said I don't think Ian Freeman is on government benefits. I'm sure he makes more money than all of you.
Oh, you were talking about the other. You were saying that you think the other Robin Hooders were on benefits.
You want us to report on every
Many
single...
of them are, would be my guess.
No,
yes.
not that I'm aware of. I know who those people were.
Single one of them.
6 figures?
Hold on, I know.
Do you make 6 figures?
Hold on, I know what the Robin Hooders were, and I know that not a single one of them was on benefits. What they were doing was they were actually working for somebody, and they were actually getting paid. So it doesn't sound like you did a whole lot of research, which is fine. It's fine to ask questions about
I did not. I told
situation.
you I just saw some YouTube videos.
Yeah. So I'm explaining to you that no, they were not on welfare. They were getting paid hourly for doing that work. I personally wasn't. I would refuse to get paid. I just did it for the the good of doing it.
Some of that money would come from the people that would send in thank you notes and checks and those sorts of things to say.
They'd hand you money on the streets.
Yes, to say thank you for saving us from parking tickets and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so why would it make you mad? Do you love it when you get a parking ticket? Do you think that those people are respectable?
I never get parking tickets.
Do you think
I don't get parking tickets.
Do you think it's a respectable job to go around and threaten people over parking somewhere?
I think you're intentionally misrepresenting what a parking attendant does.
What do
they
do?
They threaten people in that manner. They write tickets.
What do you think a ticket is?
Annoying.
The ticket's a threat.
This is why I think you come off so bad in those videos, because you do these little games, and this is not how people act in the real world. It's very unusual.
And how's that working for the real world, by the way?
I don't know about you, but in fact, Melanie, you pointed this out here. Hang on a second. We can't talk over each other if we're going to have a conversation. Melanie, you had pointed out earlier regarding the parking. I forget where I was going with that. But anyway, the parking enforcers are issuing threats, and that's what a ticket is. If you don't pay the ticket, there's a consequence behind that. And in some cases, they'll tow your car. In some cases, they'll boot your car. It depends on what city that you live in. In Keene, they don't have the boot, but they do tow, and they have towed people before. And they also have the ability to not renew a car's registration if that car has unpaid parking tickets on it. And the reality is, Joe, that this is what you mentioned earlier, Melanie. It was the requirements of the job. As a parking enforcer, one of their requirements is that they have to expect that members of the public, the people that they're victimizing day to day, are going to be upset about that, because people don't like to receive tickets, and they might read them the riot act. They might, have a few choice words.
Do you think people that leave their car on the street for extended period of time are not victimizing others?
They're not leaving their car on the street. They're parking in a parking spot.
Stuff like this. Do you understand that?
No, they don't need to have meters for that. And thank you for the call, Joe. There are cities that don't have parking meters, and they allow the marketplace to come up with solutions as far as, you need more parking? Well, maybe some entrepreneur should go ahead and, build a parking garage. And even in some cities, the city government just has decided to let people park and let it all kind of shake out how it needs to. Not every city has parking meters in downtown. Laconia, I believe, is one of the cities where they have barely any in the downtown area. And it's a city, it's about the same size of population as Keene, New Hampshire, which is where we are. So a lot of people don't like getting tickets, and this guy claims he's never gotten one, so maybe he's 18 or something like that and hasn't been driving for very long. But, most people, the longer you're around, the closer you are to getting one of these things, just because they're hard to avoid. If you are in a downtown area, the people that work downtown, a lot of them loved the Robin Hooders, because the Robin Hooders would regularly save. These are the people who are putting change in expired parking meters downtown. They would regularly save downtown denizens, people who are working or living downtown, from getting multiple parking tickets, every month.
So I have a couple of things to say to Joe. First off, if you want to support the meter maids of the world, by all means, get bunches of tickets.
They'll take your money, absolutely.
Secondly, no, you are not victimizing people by, violating some kind of parking rule. One thing you can tell is that this is about revenue when a person gets a ticket and then there's 3 spaces next to them that are empty. Okay? And
Right.
that happened all the time.
James Cleveland, who was heading up the Robin Hooding for a long while, when it was truly at its peak, when we got the lawsuit from the city of Keene, James, who was an accountant by trade, was running the numbers. He actually got the numbers from the city of Keene about what the fullness count of the meter, the meters were, or the spaces, how many of the spaces were filled at any given time throughout the day, how many tickets they were writing, and he found that they are enforcing all day long, even in the lull time. So obviously during lunch it's busy, right? But 2:00 in the afternoon, when everybody's pretty much back at work and lunch hour's over, that's when you get those open spaces where there's just plenty of parking, yet they're still writing tickets.
But the parking attendants that come at such irregular intervals, you'd think they'd be where they needed to be when things were busy.
Why would you think that?
Well, that would be if that's what they were supposed to be doing.
If indeed they're trying to turn over cars.
Right. And
that's the excuse.
I can tell you that there are all kinds of businesses, shopping malls come to mind, that have parking spaces where, they're unregulated without tickets. But only the government needs to have an enforcement arm of little, paid bureaucrats running around and writing tickets.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. And the Robin Hooders, by the way, in case you're just tuning in, you've never heard this story before.
Take that, sir! What ridiculous.
We have, by the way, we won at the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So free speech wins.
Supreme Court wins. Joe loses.
Yeah, we're coming up here. Hour number 3 is on the way. Free Talk Live.
You have probably heard about Bitcoin and virtual currencies, but you don't really know what to do next. Maybe you feel like they have already passed you by. Nothing could be further from the truth. Bitcoin is an emergent technology still. It is still in beta and sweeping the globe. All the information you need to learn about Bitcoin is at Bitcoin.com. Go to your browser, type in Bitcoin.com, choose a wallet program, get Bitcoins, and then spend Bitcoins. Bitcoin.com, the only site you need to know for virtual currencies. Bitcoin.com.
Free Talk Live has partnered with Amazon, the largest internet retailer. Imagine a department store category, and Amazon has it. Books, electronics, office products, furniture, jewelry, automotive, toys, clothing, sporting goods, and dozens of other categories. Now you can shop and support Free Talk Live by entering Amazon through our website. Go to shop.freetalklive.com and Amazon will send us a portion of your purchase. You're going to do the shopping anyway, so remember to enter through our site at shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com.
Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com.
You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, June 26th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.52 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,247 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.6 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,482. Antiwar.com reports while Saudi Arabia's list of 13 demands for Qatar is mostly the same as their rejected 10 demands from a couple of weeks prior, they included some very specific additions. One of the most noteworthy was a demand for Qatar to expel Turkey from a military base on the Qatari Peninsula. Qatar is not likely to accept the demands at any rate, but Turkish Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan sought to get out in front of that and reject the demand, saying that the suggestion violates Qatar's sovereignty and that Turkey has no intention of abandoning their base. Turkey is very ideologically close to Qatar and has been supportive of them during the blockade. The deployment of Turkish troops into Qatar during the blockade was meant to bolster Qatar while other neighbors were cutting ties. No one seemed to have trouble with Turkey's troops being there initially, but Egypt particularly has loudly condemned Turkey for supporting Qatar and suggesting a blockade against Turkey as well. While Turkey is too economically powerful to practically try to organize a blockade against, trying to get Qatar to expel them does seem to have been inserted into the demands, primarily to spite Erdogan. The inclusion of an anti-Turkey move is potentially risky, however, as Erdogan doesn't intend to leave, and the U.S. can't possibly endorse the demand if they include expelling a NATO member nation from a military base in a country that the U.S. also has a base in. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports California-based Overhill Farms is recalling 54,000 pounds of frozen chicken bite products after bones were found in the food, including some designed for toddlers. The USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service announced the recall on Saturday of the products sold exclusively at Target stores in the United States. The USDA said in a press release that consumers complained about the problem to the company. No injuries or illnesses were reported, but it is a Class 1 recall, the agency's highest health risk rating. The USDA described it as a health hazard situation where there's a reasonable probability that the use of the product will cause serious adverse health consequences or death. Consumers are urged to throw the products away or return them to where they were purchased. The recall includes 3-ounce Yummy Spoonful boxes for toddlers and 30-pound bulk cases of chicken bites in broccoli, carrot, and sweet potato varieties sold nationwide to retailers. The products were produced on August 30th, February 1st, February 9th, and April 25th. The full list of recalled products, including best before dates, can be found on the USDA's website. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a Texas mother has been arrested for the death of her 2 toddlers, whom she said were left in a hot car to teach the older child a lesson while the woman smoked and took a nap. Danny Huffman, a spokeswoman for the Parker County Sheriff's Office, said via email that Cynthia Randolph was being held over the weekend on $200,000 bail for the deaths of her 16-month-old and 2-year-old daughter last month. Randolph had originally told investigators that she had been folding laundry and watching television in her rural home west of Fort Worth while the boy, Kavanaugh Ramirez, and his sister, Juliet Ramirez, played in the back porch, according to a criminal complaint. After noticing the children were missing, Randolph told officers she found them unresponsive in a locked car and broke a window to rescue them. The temperature was close to 96 degrees Fahrenheit, and emergency personnel that Randolph had called pronounced the children dead at the scene. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and Numery supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
We have a breaking news blast on the tragic situation happening across the country in which more than 40,000 Americans have been trapped in a Confessions animal hoarding marathon on Animal Planet for the last 13 hours. The Animal Hoarders Marathon began at 9 this morning as victims were preparing for a full day before hearing the fateful sound of the show's opening credits. Almost instantly, thousands were pinned to their couches by a story of a heavyset homosexual living with his partner, his toothless sister, and 31 chihuahuas. Rescue workers rushed to free as many victims as they could.
The rope secure? Rope secure. We're gonna get you out of here. Just hold on a second, ma'am.
Wait, I think the next one is about monkeys.
Ready? Ready! Pull!
No, wait. Can I just see what happens with the feral cat?
In other parts of the country, rescue workers enlisted volunteers who had already seen the episodes to spoil them for the victims.
Oh, yeah, this one. This is about the lady living with the dogs in the trailer. She doesn't even get evicted in the end.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, launching into the third hour of the program. You can join us right here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. And you can Skype on in here. It's Skype username LRN.FM. With you tonight, it's Ian.
Melanie.
And Mark.
We're going to go back to your phone calls and thoughts. And then a little bit more on the Philando Castile case, which we've been covering quite a bit over the last couple of days here on Free Talk Live. Some excerpts from some recordings of Officer Yanez, the man who shot Philando to death in his car after being pulled over ostensibly for a simple brake light being out. We can tell you more about that coming up here, but let's go to Skype first, where Bad Slave is on the line in New Hampshire. Bad Slave, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Well, thank you for taking my call.
Yes.
I just heard this guy call, Joe, I guess his name was.
Yeah, the guy that really loves parking enforcement.
Right. He's an idiot, and that's okay.
Well, that's not very nice.
It's not nice.
It's very
but that's
true.
what he is. Well, let me put it this way. He's an ignoramus.
There you go.
He didn't do the research.
How is that better?
In Ian's
Ignorance
world,
ignorance can be corrected. Ignorance can be corrected.
Right. I don't think he had much willingness to do so, though.
So hold on. Just, I want to spend a little time with etymology here with my good friend Ian Freeman. Okay, so idiot comes from the word id, right?
Okay.
Id is, the Freudian term for sort of a base, your base instincts, right?
Okay.
Do you not know that?
Yeah.
Okay, you can look it up. So there's your ego, and there's your superego, and there's all that stuff, right?
Freud.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if one is acting in a base and sort of mean fashion, you can look those words up, and you can come to the definition. But they both, base and mean, are idiocy. So I think that one can be, acting like an idiot.
Yeah, you can do that and be ignorant at the same time.
Right. So no one is in fact an idiot all of the time, except for idiots. No one is ignoramus all of the time.
That's true.
So allowing the term ignoramus and not allowing the term idiot is inconsistent. But
no, I'm pretty consistent at calling people ignorant.
Idiots at times, and we are all ignoramuses at times. So using the term idiot is fair if one acted like an idiot, and that's one's only interaction with a person.
Sure, I get what you're saying there.
Dude, Joe, idiot. Go on.
That's your opinion.
Slave.
It's a valid opinion.
So here's what happened to him and me. Only a little less to him and a little more to me back when I had Mark and Ian. I don't think you were there, Melody, but maybe you were. I don't know. But I brought up a 9/11 issue at the time, and it was
I was not there then.
Yeah, right. It was completely different than what Ian and Mark presumed it was, and I was hoping to go on and say a little more, only Ian was on the button, and of course that would have been great if there was somebody in the queue waiting for a call, but the discussion went on for 14 minutes after I was let off the air, and I had a lot to say about what was being talked about because you went off on attack that I wasn't even going for, and I wanted to bring up some things. And I, you guys, if you're not going to go to the next call, let the previous caller.
No, we make decisions based on the interest level of the hosts in what the caller has to say and how how long things have gone on, and it's all completely arbitrary.
Obviously, Ian, you were there and you talked for 14 more minutes on the same subject.
Yeah.
So it
I think he's got a good point.
No
privilege of doing a talk show is
so you're
do that.
I mean, it's your show. You get to do what you want.
Yeah.
This is
and what really doesn't turn me on is people who complain about the amount of time they get on the air. That's really annoying.
I'm not complaining about the amount of time.
Sure you are.
I think it's a pretty good critique. So hold on, Bad Slave. You didn't get called names, right? Like Joe got called names.
That was not.
I didn't call Joe
so
names.
much, but I was
by me you did.
Yeah. I was completely discounted. You
felt unheard.
The ongoing conversation that went on.
Well, the nice thing is we have open phones every night here, and anybody is welcome to call in.
One thing you never get to hear.
To respond quickly.
You never. Before you go on, I want to address this. You've made accusations at this point. I'd like to address them. You never get to hear the scoldings I give to Ian in the off air, right? Like there's no point in stopping the show most of the time and saying, Ian, you shouldn't do that. But I did in that circumstance. I recall it. I said, Ian, you shouldn't drop the guy and then continue to talk about the issue. And, of course, once I do that, that gets Ian all whipped up, and he's going to, of course, continue to talk about it because that's how Ian does things. But
we talk about things continuously after we drop calls, Mark, because sometimes the calls are boring, and sometimes the person on the other line, and I don't recall this specific example, but frequently, a Bad Slave, you get full segments or more than a full segment to talk. And if,
he gets plenty.
If that's not enough time for you, then you need to get your own talk show. Thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it.
He didn't get a chance to say what he.
I don't care. I don't want to hear people calling to complain about how they didn't get enough time to talk the last time they called. Okay, that's like James in Arizona. That's the kind of stuff that he would do. Look, we've got all kinds of things to talk about here. Talk about something fresh. Talk about something that you're interested in discussing, not how you were treated the last time.
Well, I mean, he said 9/11. That wasn't even, he's usually pretty good, but he just called us to complain about how you handled a call when I was 14.
No. That was his topic, I think is what he was saying. He was calling about that particular topic. And that's a topic that I find less than interesting. That is a topic that has been beaten to death on the air here on Free Talk Live. And frequently when we talk about something after the fact, after a caller has been dropped off the air, it's because the conversation wasn't productive by that point. Frequently, callers will repeat themselves, so they have a certain thing.
That is the death knell for a call, is repeating yourself.
Right, so a caller frequently has something that they want to say, and they say that thing. And then they will say that thing over and over until you finally end the call. Now, again, like I said, I don't remember the exact circumstances of that call, but I can tell you that Bad Slave is a common complainer. He frequently will complain, not on the air, but, he'll hammer out some message over Skype about how, insulted he is that he didn't get all the time in the world to make all the points that he ever wanted to make on a specific subject. And again, if you don't feel like you got enough time one night, well, guess what? We've got open phones the next night. You can call back the next night if you would like to. That's our rule here. You get one call per night, so you don't get to call more than once the same night, but on another night, you can call in again. And some people will call early in the show, and then they'll get upset because they didn't get to respond to something somebody said later on in the show. Maybe that's why so many people call in our third hour. We've always been bewildered as to why, we'll do a show some nights during the week. We'll be on hour 1, hour 2,
no
get almost no calls or zero calls.
Wall to wall for the hour 3.
And it just doesn't, I don't understand why that is. It's certainly true that we have more radio stations on in our third hour, but most of them aren't calling from the radio. They're calling from internet.
Some people are also getting off of work or getting home.
Most people aren't getting off of work at 8 o'clock at night.
Well, it's 8 here.
Okay, I see what you're saying. West Coast.
I have no idea. I'm not going to, I'm not going to guess.
Yeah. Look, it's a show. We're doing a show first and foremost. And I don't mind explaining, the behind the scenes of how radio works. You're not supposed to do that. It's one of the rules we break here on Free Talk Live. but it's a show. And if it's not entertaining,
you would never get on to critique the host's
On some other
call-taking
show?
ability
Yeah.
on any other radio talk
no
show
way.
in America.
No way.
That much is for sure.
yeah, a lot of shows won't even let you on if you disagree with the host.
Well, we'd have like 2 people call if we did that. So.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves, which means you can bring up what you want. But if it's boring, or you're boring, or we get tired of the topic, we're going to move on. Sorry, that's how we do radio. Now, if you want to do it differently, get your own show and see if anyone listens. It's Free Talk Live.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years. From My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Free speech is protected on the internet, right? Not always. Government agencies try to limit free speech and commerce on the net. Luckily, when they do, the Institute for Justice is there to defend your First Amendment right to free speech. IJ helped set the first federal precedent for internet free speech in 1999, and ever since has worked to prevent unconstitutional roadblocks in cyberspace. Visit our website today at ij.org.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll free. Join us here. Bring up anything you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian here.
Melanie.
And Mark.
Coming up, how many people told the IRS about their Bitcoin? There's some numbers that have come out. Actually, it came out earlier this year. It was the first time I've seen it. So we'll share that with you on the way here. Also, the latest, some updates on the Philando Castile case, where apparently it is confirmed what you had said earlier, Mark, that his mother has already gotten a settlement. So even though news media was just as of less than a week ago reporting that they may be filing a civil case, apparently they got their settlement before they even filed it in this case. So $3 million.
Looks like the attorneys walked up and said, how about $3 million? Sign this piece of paper right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Won't be any problem.
Right. So we can talk about all that, and your calls and thoughts are certainly welcome. Let's talk to Michael. He is on the line. Actually, I don't know where he's calling from. Michael, you're on Skype. Go ahead.
Hi. I wanted to call in and talk about the Supreme Court, but the last segment got me thinking back to a couple of weeks ago when you guys were talking about banning one caller.
Yes, that's right.
For making some threats, or I don't exactly remember the whole thing, but whatever came of that real quick?
He was banned. Technically, that ban has expired. He was banned for a 2-month period of time. You're referring to a caller out of Arizona who has definitely leveled some threats at Mark and Mark's family, and it had gotten to the point where, I mean, I'll put up with a lot from a caller, I really will, but it had gotten to the point where Mark and Daryl were both protesting on the air by refusing to even keep their headphones on during this gentleman's calls. And ultimately, the reason I issued the ban was not because of his threats, but because he just kept calling about the same thing. And we told him, we gave him a warning. We said, look, dude, you need to call about something else besides complaining about what happened the last times you called, because that was kind of all he was doing. Yeah. He was just complaining about how he believed he was treated in the past. And we said, dude, if you can't, change it up, bring some sort of new thing up, then we're going to have to institute a temporary ban.
I would like to address the last caller, Bad Slave's sort of frustration with being cut off on the air. So when I was down in Florida, I think it was during December, I called in to talk about, I can't remember exactly, something to do with Trump. Can't exactly remember what. And Ian decided for whatever reason to drop me off mid-segment.
We were done with you.
Yeah, right, and move on. Yeah. And, whatever anyone might feel that they have given to the show, like, creating good radio or in any way, shape, or form, whatever they might feel they've done to do something for the show, it pales in comparison, besides Ian, what I've done for the show, right? So no one can claim to have, greater ownership over the airwaves than I, except for Ian. And Ian decided, for whatever reason, that I was boring in that moment and dropped me. And I didn't like it. I fumed over it a bit. But at the very least, I understand that he has, like I had to come to the realization, he's got a really crappy job because he built this desirable platform to talk on. Yeah. And people want to talk on it, but what he has to do is he has to curate this platform for 160 program directors out there, some number of program directors,
thousands of listeners,
and for the thousands of listeners his decisions may not be great, they may not be
right,
they may not be whatever, but they are his decisions, and he is the decider in that circumstance. He's the shot caller. He's the shot caller when it comes to who's on the air. And
go ahead, please.
You guys have been doing the radio stuff for years. I've produced morning call-in news talk radio for several years, and I can just say, haters gonna hate. So,
absolutely, and it really has to do
with that one caller. Everybody's half the host decided to boycott the caller and take off their headphones when they're calling in. You've kind of got to make that decision. Well, if half of my hosts are going to refuse to talk to him, why are we even having this person on the air? Like, people are going to hate the way
that
you
factored
run
into
the show.
it.
People are going to like the way you run the show, but you've been doing this for years. Obviously, you're doing something right to somebody.
Yeah,
so,
it has to. You're right. I mean, the haters are going to hate, and I'm not saying that Bad Slave's a hater. I think that generally his calls are good. I think
he's a supporter.
I think that generally his calls are good. It's just the attitude, is up to you to choose, right? So do you choose the attitude of, oh man, I didn't get a chance to say everything I wanted to say, blah, 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 blah. Or do you choose the attitude of, wow, I just got to talk about my 9/11 theories, on national radio on over 100, however many stations happen to be on at this moment. We have over 170 throughout the week, but they're not all on at the same given moment. So on however many dozens of stations happen to have picked that up, and everybody listening online, cool. People who, I would otherwise never be able to reach were just able to hear my opinions. So really it just depends on, wow, what a great opportunity. I'll call again sometime. It really just depends on how you want to look at your experience.
Well, speaking of talking about the topics of calling in, I didn't want to talk about that. I did want to talk about the Supreme Court. So if you don't mind me changing gears.
Yeah, sure.
Well, because this morning I finally got to listen to morning talk radio and was listening to some C-SPAN and their morning call-in show. And the conversation this morning was whether or not the Supreme Court justices should have term limits, because as the Constitution has it now, they're appointed for life. So I was kind of surprised at the amount of supporters for Supreme Court justice term limits, and I was just going to kind of throw that idea out there and see what some of your ideas were on that.
That's a good question. I don't know if we've ever really addressed it.
So I've thought about this already, and I'm against it, and here's the reason, is because it's just going to throw more power to the chief executive.
The politics.
So the chief executive, the president of the United States, appoints the Supreme Court justices. If they then know when they cease, then you're constantly having them, calculating as to, okay, we know this one's going and this is going to give us the power, these kind of things. Yeah. And, you're taking the most powerful position in the Western world and it's making it slightly more powerful. I want to do things to decentralize that power, not to centralize that power. And that's my
What do you think, Melanie?
When people, and this is kind of counterintuitive, I understand that. When people have term limits, they tend to be more political. So they tend to, even if they can't be reelected, which makes no sense, they tend to act more indebted to the person who sat them than they do if they're in there for life, they're good, you can't remove them.
Yeah, I'm the same way, because it seems like if you have term limits, you're going to have a much higher turnover rate when it comes to justices on the Supreme Court. And when you've got a delegating body of 100 people that don't get along, trying to every 2, 3, 4 years, however long the terms would be, having to reconfirm new people, we know exactly from what happened last year how much of a political football that could be. And it just boggled my mind to hear so many people defending that idea. In my mind, thinking, if we're going to have this conversation, why aren't we becoming more serious on members?
What about at a lower level? What about at let's say the state level, where
prosecutors?
No. Where judges in some states are appointed for life, whereas other judges are regularly reelected in other states. We can continue the discussion here. Thank you, Michael, for bringing it up. I appreciate it. There's more on the way here at 8:55, 450 free, like freedom. It's Free Talk Live.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live has partnered with Amazon, the largest internet retailer. Imagine a department store category, and Amazon has it. Books, electronics, office products, furniture, jewelry, automotive, toys, clothing, sporting goods, and dozens of other categories. Now you can shop and support Free Talk Live by entering Amazon through our website. Go to shop.freetalklive.com, and Amazon will send us a portion of your purchase. You're going to do the shopping anyway, so remember to enter through our site at shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free. Bring up what you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like Freedom, 855-450-3733. You go to MyPillow.com and use code FTL. You'll get your MyPillow at half price. What is it? It's a great pillow. I brought mine when I was up at the campground.
I forgot mine
this week. Ooh, bet you realized it first night, right?
Yeah. Well, I knew it as soon as I saw yours. I'm like, oh God.
Drat.
And then he brought his, and there's nothing you can do, right? You know,
it's too late. Yeah, you're 3
late.
hours away from your house. I mean, it's a darn good pillow, but probably not worth the 6 hours to.
No, it's not going to be that.
Trip.
Yeah.
To do that, but MyPillow.com, and I didn't forget it this year. I actually packed it up before I left, and I didn't have to turn back like I did last year to go and get it. I'd driven 20 minutes away from Rogers Campground before I realized, and I did go ahead and turn around for it last year because it is a great pillow. You don't want to leave it behind once you get used to it. It is designed to fit to the shape of your body and hold your neck in the proper position. We've been using it here for more than a year, I think, at this point. And some of our hosts, like Chris Friedman on Thursday night, he's a longtime user of the MyPillow. Unlike a regular pillow, you can wash it. You put it in the washer and the dryer. It's designed for that. You go to MyPillow.com, use code FTL, get your MyPillow at half price, or 2 for the price of 1. It's up to you, however you want to look at that. And if you, for whatever reason, decide you don't like it, in the first 60 days, you can send it back to them and they'll send you your purchase price back. Plus, if you keep it, it's guaranteed to last you for 10 years. Just go to mypillow.com, use code FTL, like Free Talk Live, code FTL to get your special discount of 50% off.
Totally worth it.
Yep, it's a great pillow. As we go back to, well, actually, we're going to go back to your calls, but I just wanted to bring up, another sort of a variant on what our last caller had mentioned. Michael was on the line from Skype, and he had talked about, well, what about term limits for the Supreme Court? That was the discussion that was going on when it came to C-SPAN, I guess, this morning he was telling us about. And he was surprised at how many people supported term limits.
It's a great topic, sure.
Yeah.
And term limits, people like term limits. They sound really, really good.
It sounds like it's going to limit the power of politicians, and I think to some extent it could.
But it doesn't limit the power of Supreme Court justices. Well, how would it?
Yeah. Well, I
guess it limits their power to decide when their term's up, which is a
True.
power I want them to have, because otherwise that power goes to the president.
And it goes to the political process.
The most powerful person on the planet. So no, I don't want a decentralized power.
I think you guys both made good arguments against term limits for Supreme Court, but I found myself wondering what you thought about, let's say, state-level courts. So in New Hampshire, for instance, the governor appoints judges to different roles here in the state, and none of them are elected.
Mm-hmm.
So in other states, however,
they're elected.
They are elected every so many years. Now, there's an argument against the election of judges in that, the people, they don't know what they're doing. They're going to elect some bad judges. But there might be an argument in favor of term limits at the state level. I'm wondering what you guys think about that.
I mean, I think the same things really apply. If you're going to have a state, which you shouldn't, but if that's where we're at,
Yep.
then especially with judges, when they have power to interpret, I guess, at the state level, the state constitution and overturn and enact state laws, it gives you kind of more predictability as to, okay, if I do this, because judges can kind of make things illegal in a lot of cases retroactively. Having senators or legislators get elected once every 2 or 4 years isn't as much of a problem because their laws they pass have enactment dates. Even if it's today, if you stop doing it now, then you're okay. That's not necessarily the case with judges. So I kind of feel like it gives you that predictability that...
What gives you that?
Having
if
them
they're
in
there
there
for life?
For life or for some longer term.
So you're thinking all judges at all levels might be in for life?
Trial judges, not really, especially since a lot of them kind of try to get promoted from there. I mean, and then obviously they could resign if they were going on to do something else. I mean, it seems better to, especially when you have elections that are just get ridiculous. It seems better. I mean, it seems better to be. They're doing the same thing as the Supreme Court, just on a state level instead of a federal level. I mean, there's pros and cons, I think, but based on what I've seen, I would rather them not be as beholden to whoever it is.
The electorate?
Either the electorate or whoever appoints them or whoever it's going to be.
I mean, the electorate could vote in worse judges than we currently have, but ultimately, if you've got a bunch of terrible judges that have been appointed by the governor for life, then you have no chance at undoing that if there's no election.
Well, so I had the opportunity to ask a judge this question.
Judge Burke?
Nope. It was a judge that I happened to pull his sailboat off of a sandbar down in, someplace.
Okay.
And he was an elected judge in a southern state.
Okay.
And he was a senior judge. They actually came back and did consulting work for his court.
Okay.
And, he was semi-retired, basically. But he got a phone call right there next to us when from his office the next day, basically, I got to take this. And I heard him talking, and basically they were asking him questions about how to run the court.
Got it.
So he's that, level of senior.
Mm-hmm.
He said, essentially, this is not an easy question. This was a very circumspect and pensive man, right? Like he spent a lot of time thinking about these things, just sort of things generally. And, I didn't agree with him by any stretch of the imagination on everything he said. but I asked him a lot of questions, and I didn't give him a lot of sort of forceful answers. I just asked questions of him, and he was happy to answer questions. We were having beer and having a nice time. I was drinking his beer, so I was asking him questions.
All right, good.
And his thought is that basically it's there's difficulties with all the systems, but the only person who's less qualified to appoint a judge than a voter is, in fact, a governor.
Less qualified.
Less qualified. That basically the political appointees are beholden in a certain way that he doesn't like.
That makes sense.
They're harder to get out of office.
That's right. Yeah, because they basically would have to be removed by the legislature, right?
Right. So he said, I think the governor's office.
Governor.
But whatever. And he says, essentially, voters, although they generally do not vote a judge out of office and generally do not know that much about a judge.
That's true.
He believes that they get better choices. Now, he was a judge that was elected, so there's could quite possibly be an amount of bias there. But I will point out that this guy's a Democrat that lives in a very red state and is elected in a red county.
Huh.
So
that's interesting.
It kind of shows that at the very least the voters think that he's a good choice because he's or for whatever reason they didn't kick him out because of his party.
Right.
And I believe that these are nonpartisan elections. However, it doesn't take much research to figure out that this guy's a Democrat. He's a Democrat that refused to vote for Hillary, but he was a Democrat nonetheless. And so I have, for the lack of a better opinion, adopted his. Because he had a soundbite that I liked, and his soundbite was the only person less qualified to appoint a judge than a voter is a governor. And
I mean,
that's
you could argue that there's no accountability or virtually no accountability when they're appointed. And at the very least, if there were elections, then there would be some level of accountability. But of course,
how is that different? One person puts you in versus this other person puts you in. I don't see how.
Well, the beholden thing. They're beholden to the political person who put them into office as opposed to the voters who, in theory, could make a better decision. But of course, we know voters are so uneducated.
I guess I should point this out. I don't know how it works anywhere else. I'm used to judicial elections where you're effectively barred from campaigning. So you're not allowed to state, pretty much it was just like a competition of resumes. You're not allowed to state your position on anything. You're essentially not allowed to say anything other than this is my name and here's all the schools I went to.
And if people know that a judge is particularly bad, then they might vote him out. If the word's gotten around.
I don't think that most people are
if he's abused people, if he's abused like a district court judge. Well, they may not be able to assess it.
On a trial level, yes.
That's what I mean. All right, so more coming up here in moments. You can join us, 855-450, free like freedom. You can weigh in on this or anything you want. Free Talk Live.
Dash is digital cash, a digital currency designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is the first digital money that's governed by its users. Join Dash and help us build a better financial system for everyone. Find out more at dash.org. That's dash.org.
DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phones, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
And membership is only $9.95.
Yep. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
It's The Onion Radio News. General Motors reports record sales of its new disposable car. This is Doyle Redland reporting. General Motors has announced a 56% increase in earnings this year, attributing much of it to February's wildly successful launch of the GMC Whim, the first ever non-refillable disposable automobile. Debuting at a cost of $1,100 each, the vehicles are flying out of showrooms as quickly as dealers can stock them. Whim enthusiast Glenn Shriver.
I recently consumed 4 vehicles driving from my home to Daytona Beach for the first annual Whim Owners Convention. I've already collected all 8 colors.
Rival automakers are preparing to counter with their own lines of disposable cars, including the Ford Temporare and the Chrysler Dumper. The 2002 Mitsubishi Ditch will be unveiled later this year with a projected sticker price of $799. Doyle Redland for The Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Morsels, helping you create special moments and memories your family will cherish forever. Visit us at tollhouse.com. You may bake for birthdays and holidays, but why stop there? Sweeten up the rest of the year by designating monthly dessert days. Treat your family to one of their favorites or surprise them with something new. Either way, you'll create a tradition everyone will love. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial on in toll free here. Bring up anything you want. Our number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype. You can head on over and join us online anytime you want over at freetalklive.com. But our Skype username, by the way, is LRN.FM. And Free Talk Live is brought to you by Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. You can go to victimlesscrimespree.com and you can watch the epic documentary that we put together here in our beautiful Keene, New Hampshire back in 2012 from Derek J's first year of activism. When he moved up here, and now he's living out on the seacoast, and he just posted actually a fresh article over at freekeene.com that I have yet to have a chance to read. It literally was posted within the last hour over at freekeene.com. There was this event that some of the haters threw out in Portsmouth, because the haters are everywhere in New Hampshire. It's just that we know...
It was basically the Democratic Party of New Hampshire.
No, it's a group called Granite State Progress. Not the same thing.
Populated by...
Mostly Democrats, I would guess, but
people who are active in the Democratic Party, though. I mean, not just people that happen to be voters on the Democratic. So, what I find strange,
it was called the Free State Project Exposed, or Exposing the Free State Project.
What I find so strange about this is that a group of people with whom, let's at least use the term liberty activists, libertarians, liberty lovers, disagree with 70% of the time, would take the time to put together a speech to essentially undermine this group, and then give power, presumably, to the other group, the Republicans, with whom they disagree 100% of the time. I just don't understand the strategy behind it.
Well, it's simple. The Free State Project, or this New Hampshire Liberty Migration, because it's much larger than the Free State Project is. There's multiple migrations going on, like with the Shire Society as well. But anyway, this New Hampshire Freedom Migration is a threat more so than the Republicans, because the Republicans ultimately, there's some liberty-friendly Republicans, but generally the Republicans are also statists. They believe in the state, they believe in the government, they want the government to look the way they want it to.
Currently, the Republicans are working with, in many cases, the Republicans are working with the Democrats to stop the liberty lovers that are in the state house, and they're failing some of the time.
So you just answered your own question. They're working together to stop the libertarians.
But I wish they would say that. I wish the Democrats would have their little thing and say, look, we much prefer the enemy we know versus the enemy we don't. Because the Republicans are lying about being small government, and they will work with us on a regular basis. These liberty lovers, they hate government, and we love it.
Well, they're not going to show their cards like
sure
that.
Not.
They have this thing set up where, they have power roughly 50% of the time, especially in a purple state. It really is a little bit closer to 50. They complain about things they don't really care about to get things they do care about, and they're pretty much in line with the Republicans, and people who think about it know that, but I don't know that everybody thinks about that. If they're looking at this long term, there is a more substantial threat from people who just don't want the state to be there.
Correct. Remember the state representative out of Keene, it was back in 2012, so it's been 5 years. But this was one of the state representatives in Keene at the time. I don't think she still is, but Cynthia Chase. She said the Free Staters are the single greatest threat to the state. And she is absolutely right about that. Of course, the libertarians, the people who are migrating here is what she meant. These people who they have a drive to change things, just like she did, because she migrated here as well from some other New England state.
So did the person who was putting on the Free State Project Exposed event. Was another Democratic operative.
She came here to take that job
from another state in order. I mean, it's insane. It's crazy.
So do as we say, not as we do.
Stinking, slobbering hypocrites say you can't come to our state with a political agenda. My God, that's only for us.
Yeah. And so think about it. I mean, what an honor that, these people are spending so much time. I really appreciate the efforts of the Granite State Progress.
So much so that you gave Cynthia Chase a bouquet of flowers, did you not?
No, I don't think I did that.
Oh, I thought
that was the city of Keene. We sent a bouquet to the city of Keene. Okay. We also sent them fresh strawberries from Sherry's Berries in thanks for them bringing us millions of dollars of free press coverage for suing the Robin Hooders, which they did a few years ago. But wow, I mean, I have such gratitude for Granite State Progress. They really do their research. Every 2 years, they always come out with a handy list of all of the Free Staters or the people they suspect of being connected to the Free Staters. So either somebody who they can confirm has moved here for the Free State Project, or somebody that's really friendly with people that they know moved here for the Free State Project, and they'll come up with a list of all the candidates who meet those qualifications. So they're giving you a Liberty Voters Guide every single year. I mean, that's not their intention. Their intention is to out the Free Staters and to help them lose their elections, but it's sort of, I think it can backfire on them, where if you're sending out mailings to people like some of the haters have done over the years in different places. They've sent full color, full page, glossy print mailers attacking the liberty activists who are running in various different places. Like, this person wants to get rid of the government schools. This person wants to lower taxes. It reads like a piece of campaign literature for those who know. For those who don't want the government in their lives, this is good information. So I'm grateful for them spending thousands of dollars to promote unintentionally the campaigns of the libertarians who are running here. Now, again, they're running as Republicans and Democrats generally, which is why they feel like they have to out them and spend all this money on them to show that the true libertarian, there are snakes in the grass, these libertarians, you need to know about them, which is what this presentation was about. And Derek J. gets into great detail. This is a very long, detailed article that he posted about this seminar that they were having, basically.
See, and if they go through all that work to do that, how did he manage to even get in the room?
Well, it was open to anybody who wanted to attend.
Right.
And at the time, he had been attending Democratic meetings as Derek Horton. So he was using his legal name attending the Democratic Party meetings. So he had worked his way into the internals of the Democratic Party. And personally, I don't think he should have outed himself, but he felt like it was the right time, and I think he gets into that. He told me that he was going to get into it in the article as to why he chose to sort of come out of the closet as a libertarian.
Right, but it's not like he was hiding before. I mean, if
he wasn't
in the closet.
Right, but if
he wasn't hiding as Derek
He kicked
Freeman.
the closet door open and ran down the street in a tutu.
If these people are spending so much time to go through and be like, this legislator spent time with this other legislator that we think is an FSP member, you would think that they would recognize the main, I mean, come on.
He was living on the seacoast, and so they may not have known him as much as he might have been known out here if he were still living in Keene, because his victimless crime spree happened here, not over on the other
It happened
side
on the
of state.
internet, too, though.
True.
It's kind of the thing.
I get what you're saying, but apparently they were shocked because when he stood up, he told me this. Maybe he put it in the article again. It just came out. I haven't read it, but he said that when he stood up, because there was a part at which the presenter on the stage invited she acknowledged that she knew that Free Staters, so-called, were in the audience and invited them to stand up and reveal themselves. So several of them did, including Derek and his boyfriend Stephen. And I guess they were sitting right next to one of the main Democratic Party boss men out in the seacoast. And apparently this woman gasped. Like she was sitting right next to one of these Free Staters the whole time, and she didn't even know it. So he just felt like it was the right time to do that, apparently. So again, if you want to get the details, he's got it down here. He's got an audio, like an hour and a half long audio, a recording of what happened there. He's got screenshots from the slides that they have here. What is the Free State Project? The FSP participant guidelines, the statement of intent. Pork Manor apparently is something that they are reporting on. What's Pork Manor? It's a website that's, I think, kind of outdated at this point. But the idea was this was a place where liberty activists could advertise a room that they might have for rent in their house or
proving that they're helping each other move. As though the Democratic Party, when, elections going on, don't bring a bunch of, college kids here to run around and knock on doors for their candidates.
So he says that this
Only we're allowed to do that.
She says this was Derek says this was 45 minutes of slander and lies by Xandra Rice Hawkins, the propagandist with Granite State Progress. At some point, they put up other FSP endeavors and then a bunch of logos like Cop Block, which has nothing to do with the Free State Project.
It was put together by two Free State Project signers.
Yeah, but it wasn't the Free State Project who created that. The Free State Project...
They don't see it that way,
I
right?
understand they don't, because they believe everything is this top-down command and control system of organization, which is, of course, what their system is, where one person's in charge, and they've got their underlings, and they've got their underlings, and it doesn't work that way. The Liberty Movement here in New Hampshire, this freedom migration, there is a Free State Project, but all they do is they put together Pork Fest and the Liberty Forum and make bad decisions about managing their organization from time to time. I mean, that's pretty much all they do. They don't control what the Free Staters do, or certainly for that matter, the Shire Society people, the other people who migrate here. There's no level of control over what these people do. Anyway, I'm looking forward to reading the article. It's up right now over at freekeene.com. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too.
Plan ahead and save. SaveAtPurse.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live shows 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, June 26th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.52 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,247 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.6 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,482. Antiwar.com reports while Saudi Arabia's list of 13 demands for Qatar is mostly the same as their rejected 10 demands from a couple of weeks prior, they included some very specific additions. One of the most noteworthy was a demand for Qatar to expel Turkey from a military base on the Qatari Peninsula. Qatar is not likely to accept the demands at any rate, but Turkish Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan sought to get out in front of that and reject the demand, saying that the suggestion violates Qatar's sovereignty and that Turkey has no intention of abandoning their base. Turkey is very ideologically close to Qatar and has been supportive of them during the blockade. The deployment of Turkish troops into Qatar during the blockade was meant to bolster Qatar while other neighbors were cutting ties. No one seemed to have trouble with Turkey's troops being there initially, but Egypt particularly has loudly condemned Turkey for supporting Qatar and suggesting a blockade against Turkey as well. While Turkey is too economically powerful to practically try to organize a blockade against, trying to get Qatar to expel them does seem to have been inserted into the demands primarily to spite Erdogan. The inclusion of an anti-Turkey move is potentially risky, however, as Erdogan doesn't intend to leave and the U.S. can't possibly endorse the demand if they include expelling a NATO member nation from a military base in a country that the U.S. also has a base in. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports California-based Overhill Farms is recalling 54,000 pounds of frozen chicken bite products after bones were found in the food, including some designed for toddlers. The USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service announced the recall on Saturday of the products sold exclusively at Target stores in the United States. The USDA said in a press release that consumers complained about the problem to the company. No injuries or illnesses were reported, but it is a Class 1 recall, the agency's highest health risk rating. The USDA described it as a health hazard situation where there's a reasonable probability that the use of the product will cause serious adverse health consequences or death. Consumers are urged to throw the products away or return them to where they were purchased. The recall includes 3-ounce Yummy Spoonful boxes for toddlers and 30-pound bulk cases of chicken bites in broccoli, carrot, and sweet potato varieties sold nationwide to retailers. The products were produced on August 30th, February 1st, February 9th, and April 25th. The full list of recalled products, including best before dates, can be found on the USDA's website. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a Texas mother has been arrested for the death of her 2 toddlers, whom she said were left in a hot car to teach the older child a lesson while the woman smoked and took a nap. Danny Huffman, a spokeswoman for the Parker County Sheriff's Office, said via email that Cynthia Randolph was being held over the weekend on $200,000 bail for the deaths of her 16-month-old and 2-year-old daughter last month. Randolph had originally told investigators that she had been folding laundry and watching television in her rural home west of Fort Worth while the boy, Kavanaugh Ramirez, and his sister, Juliet Ramirez, played in the back porch, according to a criminal complaint. After noticing the children were missing, Randolph told officers she found them unresponsive in a locked car and broke a window to rescue them. The temperature was close to 96 degrees Fahrenheit, and emergency personnel that Randolph had called pronounced the children dead at the scene. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Fans of the Tour de France will be disappointed to hear that the race has been put on hold for an indefinite amount of time, as many of the world's top cyclists are currently riding over to the creek to check out cool bugs. Our Chad Williams is live in Bergerac, France.
Thanks, Rachel. Roads that should be full of bikers are empty this afternoon. Right now, the riders were supposed to be here making the climb up the legendary Mont Ventoux, but instead, they rode into the woods after German cyclist Andre Greipel heard that there were a bunch of stick bugs down at the creek, and then everybody wanted to go down there and throw rocks at them. That's when Dmitry Muravyev reportedly skinned his knee but didn't care, and Irish champion Nicholas Roach announced he saw this big weird frog with like an extra arm or something, but it was hard to tell because it hopped away too fast. Race officials have not put a time frame on when the event will pick up again.
People keep saying that this is going to delay the race, but if I know these boys like I think I do, they're going to find some awesome shortcut through someone's backyard.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Let us make them remember. We are not afraid! Yeah. Dials. Am I even on the right one? Oh, I think it's that one. Test. Whoa! Damn, turn that back. Yeah, back. There it is. Hello. Welcome to Declare Your Independence. Me, Ernest Hancock here in Phoenix, Arizona, but it's not Phoenix. It's Lancaster, New Hampshire at PorcFest, and it's raining. I mean, it's like raining. And everybody's like, Ernie, it sucks to be all out there, in the Botany Bay, and let me know how it works out. Well, we have access to the internet, and we got communications where a lot of people don't. And we, hooked up with Swarm. What is the Swarm City thing out here? Here, take this microphone. What is the internet provider out there? They used to be Arcade City or something. What happened with that? Yeah, no, the little trailer thing that's up there. Swarm City. Here, wait a minute. I got the next to my heart. Okay, try that. Yeah, can you hear me now? No. Is that even the microphone? I bet it might go to a different microphone. Does that go into that one?
Yes, can you hear me now?
There you go.
Right.
See, people touching god dang buttons, man. Ooh. Well, we've been sharing this with a lot of the guys because they, doing the radio shows, using the Comrex and everything. Here, so I can turn this down. The internet access here at PorcFest has always sucked for years. And then the Botany Bay here has been, describe it for people what you've created with this.
This is our mobile hackerspace. It's we're sitting inside of a room full of lots of tools, lots of electronics. We've added a lot of wiring. We've got 12 volt and 5 volt just about everywhere, and 120 volts. We've got a very powerful inverter, solar panels on the roof. We've got a 300 amp alternator and a little gas generator. We've got a lot of things so that we can get work done wherever we go.
How long do you think you could power without the engine on? I mean, your battery goes for how long?
Derek's a better. He knows that. I know we have 3 sets of batteries. So they're what is it? Glass mat, deep cycle. But he's the power guy.
Okay, this is what happened. This last summer, after PorcFest, you guys went to the Jackalope in Arizona. Has all of this power, solar, backup batteries, and the car wouldn't start. The battery went dead.
Yes. Yeah, we had a power problem.
Power good, battery dead. On all the you can't start the car, battery dead. And I'm going, seriously?
Yeah, it was quite, it was an issue at the time, but I tell you what, any sort of problem you have with with Derek, he's a very clever and resourceful guy. I was confident he would figure it out, and he figured out enough so that we were able to drive back across the country. And then a few months later, he had a revelation, and he's like, "Oh, I think I know what it was." And he went out, and sure enough, it was something where he had made a change, and it was affecting a sensor. And I wish I could explain it better than that, but
Jay Noon was. They were yakking. They go, yeah, it's a resistor, the blah, blah, to make sure that you have enough of the 12 the diesel has, and kind of, it's like, oh, yeah, we figured out. I'm going, man, must be nice to be you guys, I have this information.
They can think in terms of electrons. I wish I had their view of the world. I wish I could do
Well, it's more complicated than that because it was, to me, it's like, wire. Well, it's the alternator requires 12 volts in order for it to manage the power. If that battery went down for that, it doesn't have the power to create the field to be able to distribute the power, or it shorts out, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
And I'm going, wow, there's so much, and there's so many electronics in here. There's like a dozen screens. You have a bunch of computers, keyboards. I mean, it is. Of course, you come in the morning after you guys, partying to 4 in the morning, and it's kind of, you get, like some frat house. But, I go, air this thing out. Holy crap.